survive with all this YouTube politics, to be honest.
Are you ready?
We're back. The time is now.
NUFC Early Night News with Gary the Geordie Yum Yum, Andrew Bokey, and Derek the Mighty Win. Weekdays from 7:30 p.m. UK, 1:30 p.m. USA.
NUFC Talk.
I'm just going to wait to make sure that we are all on the TV, because it just always seems to... There you go. We're on. We're all on YouTube. It just seems to delay. Every time I see the YouTube video when we're on, it's always with Mighty Win now. The camera always seems to shine on Mighty Win during the live shows. But welcome, one and all. My lovely team for tonight. Usual crew. Bokey and Tina Turner with myself, the Geordie Yam Yam. And we've got Ian, and obviously my right-hand man during live commentary, my mate Michael. It's lovely to see you. Did a great job, mate, from what I could see. Obviously, I was live myself at Molyneux, so I couldn't hear you, apart from I had you up against my ear. I had Wi-Fi at the Molyneux, which was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I had 4G. It was very bitty. 4G to 3G, 4G to 3G, and then, but I was listening to you guys, and I must admit, mate, you were certainly more entertaining than what we were watching.
It's not hard, though, is it?
It wasn't very hard, mate. No. So again, let's crack on with my welcome, and welcome to everybody that's watching across all the platforms. Thanks to everybody that works across the background with the mods. Hit the like, subscribe, hit that bell for future content. You get that 30-minute warning if you hit the bell. So we're always live, never edited. If you want to become a member, it's $4.99 for the NTTV Plus, which gets you all behind the scenes stuff, members only stuff. The lads doing the player ratings and stuff like that. Very good. I like to watch that. Very even keel between you two. Very, very nice. And it's I tell you what I do like about that. Yeah, very good team. What I do like, you're actually putting up though scores from, like, you know, Sofa scores, FOTMob, things like that, where you're gauging against, and like I say, you do come across as very two honest supporters of the black and white army.
Thank you, Matt.
Question to panel.
Far too positive for me, lads.
I expect nothing else, Berkey, don't worry.
If you've got a question for any of these lots, sorry, mate.
If you want to look at positive, you just have to look at the Sofa scores for the Newcastle team against Wolves.
Yeah.
Who was top man? Someone had 8.5.
Chow.
Was it Chow?
Someone had 7.5.
8.1. Yeah, crazy, mental. It was strange though, because it seemed to go from the back line, which, to be fair, they had a good game. You know, they did what they had to do. Then he went to the midfield, which was the next ice, which is the next level down. And obviously your top line, which we all knew actually didn't score very well at all across any platform, if I'm honest with you. So, yeah, if you've got a question for anybody in the panel, throw a cue in front of that question. And like I say, we will try our best to highlight it. What we're going to do, because we've got loads of chat and we feel so guilty at the end of each show when we cross over to the late show of not actually getting any of the chat involved. So what Bokey's going to do, anything that's relevant through the night, we're going to just highlight. And if it's something that's part of that we can discuss as a unit, as a panel, then we'll give you some airtime as well. But it ain't guaranteed. So like I say, if you want to guarantee it, then throw us a super chat, follow the $sign, and that'll guarantee that message read out. And anybody that becomes a member during the show will be highlighted. And any members that gift them will also be highlighted and thanked as we go. Lady and gentlemen, it's lovely to have you here on the eve of probably one of our most important games this season, if I'm honest with you. Something that I'm really looking forward to as part of us, if you like, as supporters. But before I get into tonight's show, I always like to start with a little ditty. So here's tonight's good evening and welcome. 30 years ago today, Newcastle United were 12 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Chaos, courage, and goals for fun. Fast forward to now, and we've got 10 points from 12. PSV coming to St James's Park. Bird and Asula back in training. And a Wolves game that managed to be controlled, cautious, and completely forgettable. This team looks well drilled, organised, and responsible. But here's the line that divides opinion. Are we watching a clear process that just needs time? Or are we stuck in a system that's stopped progressing, I should say? There you go. That's my start. That's my opening thing. So I thought tonight, Ian had the pleasure of me throwing loads of questions at you guys. And I don't always... What I always like with the panel, I know you guys do the light team a lot of the time, and it's just an open chat, open mic session as they do. None of us can sing. With the early crew, because I want to try and keep away from the general news, because it gives somebody like Chris and the lads in the pub later on something to talk about. So I am going to hit on some points tonight. And I'm going to start with, obviously, Man City tonight has had a bit of a stinker. I don't know whether you guys have watched the game, but Bodo Glimt have beaten them 3-1. And to be fair, could have gone a lot more. It could have gone a lot worse for Man City at times. They were very scrappy. Man City's last 5 games, apart from beating Newcastle, they haven't won a match. And that made me think today. And I went and thought myself, we are very much... I'm on the fence. I'm a yo-yo fan. I'm a hypocrite. Some days I'll call him out. Some days I want him in. But there's a lot of people now jumping to the dark side. Even my mate Ian at the bottom there is starting to dwindle towards that dark side. So I've had a look.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. No, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to try and balance it up. So I've had a look back, and I wanted to see how many teams in a similar situation to Newcastle, as we find ourselves now, and this has been going on for a couple of seasons. I wanted to find out how many other teams have been calling for the manager. How many do you think have called out the manager in the top 7 over the last 4 seasons? How many teams have been called out by their fans over the last
6?
Every single one of them.
All of them. All of them. Yeah.
Absolutely. And doesn't it just prove a point? As a fan base, this isn't biased by any means. It literally is. You talk about, what you see is what you say a lot of the time, and we all sometimes get a little bit heated, and we are very passionate supporters. But for me, what I've noticed so much, and there's a couple of things I'm going to put up on the screen in a minute, just so we can go with the flow. But I want to start the questions. I want a show of hands to start the show off, if you like. So let's do a show of hands, right? Are Newcastle currently underperforming with a good process? How many do you think that's? How many? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, okay, cool. 4. So they've got 4 people. That gives you that. So, or are we maxing out on process that no longer produces enough? How many's going to show me a hand now?
Sorry, Gary, what was that one?
Are we maxing out on process that no longer produces enough? So the whole question is, are Newcastle United currently underperforming with a good process, or maxing out a process that no longer produces enough? Now, you can create enough issues with that. Yeah, well, there you go. I knew he would put his hand up.
I would say that the team, the players, are approaching, and maybe that's because Eddie's told them to, certainly away from home, certainly against Wolves, they're approaching our normal, previously successful process in a bit of a half-arsed manner. And I don't think the process that's been successful for 4 years will continue to be as successful without that edge of intensity, at least during key parts of the game. Last 10, first 10, start of the second half. by all means, get 2 up and coast through an hour of it, but it can't be coasting at the start to protect the team, which is what it seems like we set up. It seemed like we set up to draw, and Howe actually was quite pleased that we drew Wolves. And when you're saying we've got PSV and Aston Villa, this isn't the calm before the storm. This is the storm before the hurricane that we've got coming in February. We can't go in half-assed against anybody in these next 6-7 games. They're all Tottenham away is probably our easiest game.
I've got to see now. I'm really worried about February in regards to the games we've got. We're struggled our way through this month. Going into that fixture list, we are going to struggle like hell. Absolute.
Bulky, I know what you mean. We haven't really struggled results-wise. Performance-wise, I agree totally. We've underperformed on the pitch, and I do think that these better teams often make us produce a much better performance. And I am encouraged by the fact that Villa looked bloody awful against Everton when McGinn went off. That Liverpool have drawn all of the last 4 games. That City have managed to get turned over by Man U like a championship side. They never had a kick in that game, really. And then lose tonight at Bodo Glimt. I mean, nobody's in very good form. The reason why I've come a little bit more onto the Eddie inside than I was yesterday is that I heard the stat that from that last international break, Newcastle are, in terms of the number of the points won, we're 3rd in the Premier League.
3rd in the table, yeah.
So, that's why we've climbed it a little bit. We could have climbed it a lot more, I'm thinking. Away win at Man U, away win at Wolves. We've left so many points behind, but everybody else, bar Arsenal, who, by the way, have drawn the last 2 games, everybody else, bar Arsenal, seems to be leaving a whole load of points behind as well. So while that goes on, we go again. It's an 18-game season from now, and we're currently on current form. We're going to finish 3rd in it.
I think the thing that gets me on that is that before that spell of 11 games, the Manchester City game is the only game where you can sit there and say Newcastle played well. And I believe the quote was from before we played Brentford. I might be wrong. It might have been after that game. But the last game we played well in for me was that Everton as well. We actually played pretty decent. But December, we were, let's be honest, Tottenham weren't very good at all. Ended up throwing it away. 2 games against Burnley. Mediocre against Burnley. I ain't going to make myself think about the derby again. Fulham, decent. Chelsea, first half excellent. Second half, Shizer. Man United, same as second half against Chelsea. And you're looking at that and you're thinking, the last few games we haven't been great either. Going into this month, it's one of those where you're sitting there and you're looking at it and going, we might be 3rd for results, but we've also played all 3 of the newly promoted sides. The Wolves, Burnley twice. I know we've had Man City, Chelsea, Man United in there. I mean, Man United is exactly a tough fixture these days. But we've probably had the kindest fixture run in that period. But the thing that sort of keeps me positive for February is the one thing Newcastle United cannot do is play against a low block. Let's be honest. City aren't going to play a low block. Not that they need to. They're 2-0 up. Brentford aren't going to. Spurs won't. Villa won't. Everton won't. So, Everton might at St. James's, but they haven't done too much this season. So I'm more confident about those games than I was against Wolves. Like, I was sitting there before Wolves and going, I've got the worst feeling we're going to lose this and look absolutely dog. And thankfully, we didn't lose it, but we did look absolutely dog.
Yeah. It's crazy,
just to say, Ronnie, the chat's been put in, but you need to learn how to text, mate. Come on.
I mean, it's funny because you sat there and you're absolutely right, Michael. For me, it felt as though the longer the game was going on, the closer they were to nicking a goal. Even though they didn't really look. I mean, listen, everybody was saying, made me laugh because they're centre forward, and I can't think of his name now, Adaroof, whatever his name is. One of the lads said to us that he dominated the game. And I kept looking over. Yeah, and when you're thinking, are they watching? Are they watching the same bloody game as I am here? I mean, yeah, he run the front line on his own to agree. Mane dropped off a little bit, and you had the Asian lad on the other side, the left hand side, whatever his name is, did nothing. So yeah, the ball. They did try and highlight him regarding the longer ball, if you like. I didn't really see anything in Mane that everybody was shouting at. Again, is that because he had a poor game, or was we just that solid from midfield to defence? My biggest problem is, like I say, we'll throw some stats up. And the first thing I want to throw up now, and I'm going to shout out Ben Spratt, because I was looking at doing my own table. And then when I was searching to get some information, I realised Ben had already done the work for me. So I'm going to shout him out because he's done the work. But again, what he's put is Newcastle were flawless against bottom 6 teams last season, winning 36 points from 36. But there's more than one way to get the 60 plus points they need. A rare win against another top 6 side next week would be a start, right? So that's what he wrote. And I thought, let me have a look at this. So he's made some graphs, and I've checked these graphs out, and they seem pretty good without going too far into it. And he's put the 4 seasons up there, and you can see, you can't see because of all the wording, but the red zones are points that we've taken off teams in positions 1 to 7. Teams, or the yellow zones, are teams that have been positions 8 to 14. And the green zones are teams 15 to 20. So just so you've got a feeling of where we are on this graph, so you can see the amount of points that we are taking off teams in and around us. And where, what he said was absolutely spot on. I'm not going to disagree with that. But what I've seen a bit of a difference in mainly from this, because if you look at the first season, the majority of our points were teams in and around us. The first full season, 22-23. That was where a chunk of the change come from. In 23-24, it was pretty even, if I'm honest with you. Obviously, we failed to get into Europe by the skins of our teeth because of, obviously, what happened at the Manchester Derby in the Cup. But obviously, it's very even. We seem to be flowing on all guns blazing, but really not producing. It was balanced for me. It was like a balanced season. Not really topping, not really bottoming out, but it just went along and it went with the flow. And obviously 24-25, as you can see, as he rightly said, we actually dominated and took a lot of points from teams, in that bottom section of the league. And it seems to be running very similar this season. Problem being, we don't seem to be taking a lot of points off a lot of the teams that are coming our way very soon. So again, a big chunk of change from the bottom half. Midsection, again, we've took some points, but not a lot going on. Now, if I transfer this one onto the next slide, I'm hoping you guys can see that evenly. And again, I'll get you some information. And again, what you're looking at is the yellow columns is the 22 to 25. So that's 3 seasons combined in those yellow columns. In the blue column, it is just the 25-26 season. And what this, again, you're looking at positions 1 to 7 in the left-hand column. Again, in the middle column, it's 8 to 14. And in the right-hand column, it's 15 to 20. The difference being in this one is Newcastle's per game by opposition. As you can see, we're not taking the points from bottom teams this season as we had in the middle section. Again, like I said, it's like a very even section. And in our first real full season under Eddie Howe, we seem to be advancing and taking a lot of points from teams at the top of the league in that yellow column in the first section there. So again, there is definitely a little bit of a drop-off when it comes to us taking points off those bottom clubs. And again, the question I wanted to ask you guys, as you've just mentioned there, Michael and Ian, is this just fatigue showing across all teams now that are playing in 4 competitions? Because if you look at some of the results, the weekends. Again, you go by what was said out there, and there was again some crazy stats come out of from the weekend's football. The first time since May 4th and 6th, 2018, that the Premier League's top three teams have all failed to score in the same match day. Arsenal, Man City and Aston Villa. Totally wayward. So again, not been seen, like I say, since 2018. And then obviously the Wolves and Newcastle 0-0 was the 17th goalless draw of this Premier League season, which is already more than 24-25. So again, are we just looking at fatigue here?
I think generally, what we're seeing is that teams, let's be honest, the better we've got, it comes as no surprise that the teams in the middle of the pack, we were getting less points against them. The teams at the bottom of the pack were getting less points against them as well. So it's one of those where I think you see in there, in live time, what we've seen over the last few seasons of that initiation of the low block against us. And it's not the fact of, we couldn't handle it a few years back. Very much less teams were doing it. Let's be honest. When Eddie Howe got into 11th in the league, and then the next season we were doing, very, very decently. Ended up getting Champions League. But let's be honest, in November and December, I remember us drawing 0-0 against, I believe it was Bournemouth and Palace back to back. Neither of those were playing low blocks against us. We just couldn't it was just terrible games. But they're the mid-table sides, I believe, of that season. And we just couldn't really get anywhere. Well, we're seeing these mid-table teams now, and it is the low block. They're sitting 10 yards deeper. And, I've seen it already mentioned in the chat here. We are missing that, that clinical striker known as the Rat, who could get us out of those kind of situations. So I think it is just seen in live time, that low block evolving against us. And if you look at the Premier League, well, let's be honest, it gets more and more boring every year, really. You mentioned the 0-0s there. So yeah, I think we're a victim of both the low block, but also the Premier League becoming a lot more static, boring and repetitive in regards to tactics.
Christina,
The
just
rapid
quickly, what
phasing
do
out
you
of
think,
the flair
Christina?
player.
Yeah. Christina, what do you think on that? Do you agree or?
I think coming up against the low block has been something that we've struggled with for a while, and I don't think we've started playing the way that you have to play against the low block. I know that not every team is doing that against us, but a lot of teams now have kind of figured out a way to defend against us. When we go to their grounds, they go very defensively. And I think to get back to any sort, and again, this season, as has just been mentioned, all the Premier League, it's every top team's dropping points. It's all very crammed. There's like 3 points to the bottom, 6 points to the top for like every team. So I think in regards to like progressing, I think learning how to deal with what other teams are like, because they've learned how to deal with what we do. So we now need to adapt to deal with what they're doing against us. And I think that's where we've kind of got trapped so far this season, as opposed to other seasons. And I think obviously there's things that we had previously to this season that we don't have as well, such as, I'm not going to say his name, but he did used to wear number 14 for us. He now wears a red t-shirt occasionally, or sits on benches a lot. There was a lot of things that we could get from him, and the players were kind of used to being able to pass to his strengths. And losing that, we've definitely got stuck in a transitional period most of this season, from what I've seen, of just not looking like we've quite figured out what we want to do.
No, it is good points. Again, you can only say what you see, and I don't think there's an answer, if I'm honest with you. And again, for me, Eddie's just comes up with some, statements that sometimes now you have to question. Are you just being protective or overprotective, rather than highlighting where the issue is? Because we have got a very thin squad. He wants to try and protect everybody. Again, I'm going to Ian. You was going to say something just before Christina jumped on board.
Yeah,
Do
sorry.
you want to add? No. It's okay. We need everybody's point of view. But Ian, just before we go on to something else, just to challenge what we're talking about and try and highlight where the issues are, because it doesn't always make sense. But just finish that point off, Ian, what you were going to say.
Can't remember what it was. Gary, you'll
Oh,
have to give me a
no,
clue.
that's
what I
fine,
was-
mate. I'm glad there's somebody else like me, Ian.
Well, what I was going to say was agreeing with Christina that I do think more teams have worked out that if you do a low block against Newcastle, certainly when they're playing away from home, they won't be able to score against you. That's ridiculous, because surely a low block's not a sophisticated, tactical, fast-moving thing that we've got to react to. If we know it's a low block, there must be ways of getting around a low block when you know it's going to happen. I can remember Fab Shah taking a few pot shots against Burnley and Nottingham Forest, Wolves away from home last year, and scoring from 20 yards. That's one way of getting through a low block, but we don't seem to have any shots from outside the box.
Yeah.
Why have another 3 minutes of possession going from one corner of the halfway line to the other, backwards and forwards, and not moving forward at one stage? Don't know. I just think it's not fair on the guys who go down and stand in the rain to watch it. To be honest, it's like watching paint dry.
Well, let's see if we can throw a few answers.
We need
forward.
Fabian back, is what I heard there, to be fair.
Well, yeah. So I'm going to change the format because it is difficult for everybody to see these screens. So apologies, because when we put something up on the screen now, we're going to hide some of our beautiful faces. What I'm trying to highlight here is trying to get to some answers, because it doesn't always seem as though you get answers from Eddie. You don't get answers from, there's lots of tacticians out there that can summarise. Now, let's have a look at shots on target, because I've highlighted here shots on target. Where do we stand? Shots on target. So as you can see, all the top teams in that left-hand column there. Newcastle sitting in 2, 4, 6th. So again, top half of that tree, if you like. So again, shots on target are there. Don't see a lot of them though. So when you look at the XG per shot,
Kind of wishing I'd put my glasses on now.
Yeah, I do apologise, because it is a bit on the low side with this one. Again, all I want to do is highlight where Newcastle are on the screen. Don't have to look at the small print. It doesn't matter. All I'm doing is listing them from high to low. Newcastle again, sitting 7th. So again, XG per shot, right, is the fact that we are creating chances, right? So that for me gives me, it ticks a box. It doesn't show me that we've got players that obviously are producing the goods at the end, but it ticks a box for the likes of Eddie Howe and his analysis, because what they'll say is it's working. We are creating opportunities. We're getting the shots off. We're getting good XG per shot. What we aren't getting is goals. And if I can highlight this, as you can see, nowhere near Newcastle mid-table, which probably represents where we are. Now, the other thing I wanted to look at here, because again, listening to the lads in the club last night, and again, this comes up a lot of the times. If I put this onto passing, and I want to have a look at, passes around. So crosses for me, right? So we're looking about, if we're getting shots off, we're in the top 6 or 7 places for getting shots off and shots that create XG, so good opportunities. Are we getting enough crosses into the box that can replicate us trying to get on the end of them? So I thought let's have a look at that. So total crosses, as you can see, Newcastle are second in this group. So they are the second most productive teams when it comes to crosses. When you look at the success of how many we get on the end of, or thereabouts, again, we are second, right? So this isn't per match, because if you get on per match, it throws these metrics all over the place. So I'm just saying, on a rule, we are getting lots of crosses into a box. They are sometimes successful, because that means they're not getting picked up by the middlemen. They're getting picked up again by the players that sit out wide. So this shows me that there's a problem between the two lines of the 18-yard box. Because if you're picking the ball up from, as you saw from Alanga, the ball comes on the right-hand side. It's a poor cross, but this will always be a successful cross if Anthony Gordon or Louis Hall picks it up on the other touchline. So none of these figures are what you can say are going to give you an exact. But when analysts just look at stats and stats alone, they are going to show you that they are doing everything they can in that final third to get a product. My problem is, as we saw, Voltemada challenged against Wolves twice. He isn't really naturally renowned for being a natural header of the ball. He's never going to be an Alan Shearer. But, you know, with his height, there should be a lot more opportunities come his way. One thing I have noticed against Wolves, 2 seconds, mate. One thing I have noticed, especially at Wolves, is how many times did we see us having more than 3 shirts in the box?
Can I just pick on that point, Barry? Barry?
It's all right, John.
I'm turning
Christ, I've got another win in the bloody court.
A shame, Borky here. But no, in regards to that, I understand the stats and everything, and what you're putting out is completely right. You can see stat-wise where we are, but you watch the games, mate. You know, do them stats relate to the games? And they don't. You know, we are not a team that is completely in control of games, attacking and having chances and missing out. If we were, I'd be sitting here saying, hey, I tell you what, we had a good game, but, you know, we were unlucky. But in a lot of these games, we haven't been. It hasn't been that case. It's a case of, it's like, and I said this the other night, it's like, and I think this proves it with the stats that you're showing up. I think this is part of it. It's paint by numbers football. So, you know, we're doing the right things. We're doing everything that you should technically do, but we're just not a team that sort of can get the result from doing that. And we're not sort of progressing with that football. I think it's really difficult because the stats prove one thing, but what your eyes are showing you proves something completely different.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, sorry, quickly, just a little context for last season as well. That average XG per shot last season, we were top or second in the table with 0.14. So even though it looks like, you know, we're still doing quite well, it's still I mean, that 0.2 isn't massive, but that's probably the difference between fifth and bottom, I would imagine. It's a far cry away from what we were seeing last season. And I think you can see that when you watch the games, really, can't you?
Yeah, and I think Bauke was right what he said. The eye test to stats. Now, again, you know, all I'm saying is Eddie Howe's answers to some of the questions, and he's been thrown a few curveball questions. Has he the right to protect his players from what the analysts that sit on his shoulder are telling him that's happening through the games? Eye test is different because obviously I haven't seen Eddie Howe throw the F-bomb as much as I have this season, right? There was a comment that was put down from Craig Hope in his column where he said openly that he was up that touchline screaming the F-bomb to some of his players about getting pressed and getting pushed on. And I think what we've seen, and again, are we just, I always say leaving some in the locker room because I don't think any of the lads are throwing 100% all of the time. It's like 80 to 85% playing. And is it showing a bit too much respect to the opposition? Are we a team that don't want to lose, but then we become halfway men, so we don't fully commit to what we should be doing and getting bodies in the box?
Gary, I think we're showing a little bit too much respect to this chat. Come on, guys, hit the like button. You know, there's a load of yous watching. Go on, get those figures up a little bit forward. It really helps the channel. You know, give a couple of likes.
Indeed.
That'd be nice.
I think they might have been a little bit bruised by one or two of the away losses. and so they might be overcautious playing away from home now. It's up to the manager to talk them out of that, though, isn't it? You know, a game away at Wolves is a perfect game to say, look, just let your hair down, lads. We've got way too much for this team. We did have way too much for them. I can't remember what it was, 70% possession or something.
Yeah, I mean, first
but
off, as Michael
absolutely
said, 94% without a shot on target. It's
awful.
ridiculous.
It was, you know, if it had been me, I would have said, get after them. I want you to score, Gordon. I need you to score, Barnes. Voldemar to get in the... Just push forward. And if we get caught twice at the back, it doesn't matter. We win 7-2 at Molineux. Because we have that. You know, we're going to hope that they're going to do that tomorrow night. The slip one-touch pass in. You know, they're cutting in from the left and putting it in the top right corner. We won't be surprised if they do that 2 or 3 times tomorrow night, because the crowd will be right behind them and it'll be fantastic. Why is that not happening at Wolves? Why is it so bland?
Stagnant, isn't it? It is stagnant.
God,
it's totally stagnant.
It's like a vegetable curry.
I
You like a bit of, I like a bit
I
of
quite like
tikka
vegetable
with
curries.
was going to say.
vegetable korma. That's what we watched when we wanted
Fabulous.
a chicken madras.
I think
At least I'll have
that
a
actually
vindaloo now and
touches on
again.
some... Oh, sorry.
Go on, Christina.
No, I was just going to say that actually touches on... I've actually got a gripe with Eddie Howe from today's press conference, which I know doesn't come from me very often. But he was asked a question. I know, right? He was asked a question that when Ian was talking there, it's kind of reminded me of that question, which he was asked why a lot of our best performances have been in the Champions League as opposed to in the Premier League. And I thought a very obvious answer to that was like teams like Wolves study us, like they see us every week. Like part of their season plan is, okay, we've got Newcastle on this day, how do we deal with that? And it doesn't happen in Europe. So a lot of the things that we would love to be able to do in the Premier League, I think we get away with in Europe because they're not used to us doing it. Whereas in the Premier League, they're, you know, as I said before, they've kind of figured us out almost. But Wolves would have been the perfect chance to make that, because we're trying to play possession football, but we're also pinging crosses constantly into the box. So Wolves would have been the perfect opportunity to either, you know, commit to one or the other. Like throw some people into the box to see what happens when we go in there instead of being overly cautious. But I think Ian was right when he said that I think we've been stung a couple of too many times. What set Bogey off?
You need to get
The comment on the channel.
Curry performance scale as part of the player ratings video.
I'll get a graph together.
We're going to get more private members then.
That would be brilliant.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
actually, you could do that. You could do red hot to sort of cool.
Oh, there you go.
How spicy's the performance?
That's it. Guys, I'm setting this up for a brilliant show here.
Yeah,
I
look
think
at this.
what you said, Tina, that part of the presser that you were talking about, Tina, had something else in it that made me bristle a little bit, because Howe admitted that his players, they'll be really looking forward to the Champions League. It's something special. That he virtually said they try a bit harder in the Champions League.
Of course, absolutely.
So can't get off for playing away at Wolves, but if it's a Champions League match, they're going to be right up for
Everybody's up.
And I'm already assuming it's going to be fantastic tomorrow night because of that. But then that's not a very professional approach to take when we're 3 points off fourth and we need to finish top 5 to get back in the Champions League next year, assuming we can't win it.
That is exactly the same question that I had a problem with. Like, instead of doing that and suggesting that we get more up for European games, just say, because Premier League teams are used to us, European teams aren't. It was an easy one to just like give it a generic Eddie Howe answer to. And he's going to be like, oh, well, you know, the players enjoy a bit of European football. Oh, thanks, Eddie. There we go. You've thrown us under the bus. And that's the last bad thing I'm going to say about Eddie for the rest of the year, because we're still 4 games into my 20-game Tina 20 undefeated streak, so we're still on for it.
You've still got an opportunity to get there. Do you want to do that super chat?
There's so much I can pick up from the press conference, but I won't. We'll do the super chat. Gary, I love what you do, but I'm more interested in Tina's stats, to be honest. I'm hoping that means the stats in regards to the team. You know, We need happy flowing football, which is right. Was you 100% right there, mate?
Yeah,
Give me excitement and entertainment, please, Gov. You know what, mate? I
not a problem.
completely agree with you. You know, when was the last time we came away from a game thinking that was really exciting game? We did really well. We were brilliant. It's a struggle
Yeah.
this season at times. It's a bit of
We
a chore. So
came away from Leeds and came away from Bournemouth feeling it was an excellent game because it was bloody chaos. But that's
Yeah.
yeah,
what Wolves should have been. That's what I mean. Get after them like that.
100%, mate.
Let 3 goals in, but score 6 at the other end. And why not? Why not go
So
for
let
that? Because we can't play bloody chess with them because it ends up
exactly.
0-0.
A lot
So
of
let's
We had
give
chance.
I don't
let's
mind
give
a 0-0
Wazza.
if it's a 0-0 like the Villa game was, the first game of the season. Because we played well in that. We had a lot of chances. They were down to 10 men. We should have won that. 2 more points lost, but we at least played well in that game. But we can't say that we played well in that Wolves game.
Exactly.
The defense did what they had to do. Nobody else turned up. I think they might have been making sure they didn't get a knock to miss this game tomorrow. And
That
that's
is
Gary,
awful if that was true.
It's a
Gary,
thin.
can I
It's a
just
thin
quickly
thing.
put Betsy's point across here? Michael, are we winning tomorrow or not?
I'd say that's the thumbs up.
Got
We're
the
winning.
point.
We're winning.
It's gonna, we're going to get into the PSV game in a minute. We'll do a bit of a deep dive into what we expect them to set up like, and obviously have a look at their past history because they've been doing rather well, I must admit, in the Eredivisie. So we'll be having a deep dive into that. But first of all, I better give Wazza value for money for his £5.
Wait, what?
Thanks very much. So Tina, explain why this is still a top 6 trajectory side despite the lack of goals.
Wow, I mean, save the difficult one for me. I mean,
There's no answer,
well,
Tina. You're fine.
no,
I'm gonna say.
let me find an answer. I'll find an answer to this. So, I mean, obviously, you've seen in the stats that were on there before. That was Gary's stats, or the other person that you mentioned, whose name I would have remembered, but I don't have my glasses on, so I can't remember.
No, I can't remember either. I've only just put it up.
So obviously we're still creating chances, and I think a lot of because we're saying things such as the eye test isn't showing that we are creating these chances. But if you look at it, there are a couple of things where, like, we're taking shots with either Tonali or Willock where it's just going wide of the post, or we've got Gordon's taking somebody on and producing a bit of a weak shot, or Joe Linton or Wissa is hitting it straight at the goalkeeper. We are creating chances. We're just not taking chances. And I think that's why it's still, statistically wise, why we're still looking like, we should be further up the table than we are. And I mean, football's all about taking chances, but the fact that we're still creating chances is why I happily earned my happy caliber cheerleader type of gimmick, because I don't see the doom and gloom that a lot of people. I mean, granted, Wolves wasn't great, but even in that, Waldemar had an early chance. We had a late chance with Tonali. Like, there was a couple of chances where if either of those go in, it's a completely different conversation. Oh, we dominated the game for 45 minutes, completed more passing than team, and we won 2-0. Very different mood to we dominated the game for 90 minutes, did nothing. But there were chances that we just didn't take. And I think it does come back to confidence of like maybe having a bit of a crack like what Fabian Schär would. But the fact is we are still creating chances.
Just not seeing the end products. I think, like I say, I just think to me, we just need to commit bodies to the right places in the field, in the penalty box, in between those 2 white lines. And I think you may see a turnaround pretty quick. But again, I think Michael's right. What he's just said, leave a little bit in the locker room. I say it all the time. From what I see, there's not 100% out of any of those players. They do a job that they have to do. And once they've done it, it's like, well, I've done my job, gaffer. It's not up to me to finish it off as well. And it just seems to be a bit passing the buck, which
Gary,
should
do you think
never
that's
happen.
our problem, though, that none of them, they're all so uniform now to playing Eddie way and doing what Eddie tells them to do, that none of them are willing to take that little chance. So, they see what they should do or what their natural movement would be to do, but then they think, oh, we're playing for Eddie here. So, this is what he's taught with, and this is how he wants us to play.
I disagree.
Sometimes to Nolly, for example, you see him get in front of goal, and he's got a hell of a shot on him. He's got one hell of a powerful shot, but he sometimes refuses to take the shot on, and he'll play the possession ball. Whereas sometimes you just think to yourself, bloody hell, lad, you're in front of goal, shoot. Go for it. If you're 20 yards outside the area, just go for it. And I think that's the thing we'll lose. And I think a lot of it isn't just down to Eddie Howe. It's Premier League football now that it's all about keeping possession. It's not about, going for the goal, going for the win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The old
I mean,
fault, isn't it?
yeah. My missus has never watched football to a degree. I'll tell a lie. She had a tour of Barcelona when she went to Spain with her mates. So they went and watched a game for some unknown reason. So we sat in the ground. We went and I said to her, just have a look. And she asked me whether we were struggling in the bottom half of the table because of what she was watching. So Tina is exactly right. The viewing isn't great, but when you take 10 points from 12, what's wrong?
Eye test tells you it's wrong. I mean, I'm really pleased. As I say, I'm more positive that we're third in the current form table since the international break. That's
Yeah,
encouraging.
since November,
But-
wasn't
but
it? He was up
yeah,
with
but-
that one, wasn't he?
We look bloody awful, and as Michael's pointed out, even at home when we've won, we've what was it, a last minute winner against Fulham to win 2-1 in the league?
It was, yeah.
Even after the last minute to beat Leeds 4-3, I'm glad we won, and that was a fantastic game. But we left it a bit late, didn't we? Let them take the lead 3 times. So we are seat of the pants stuff to get these points together, and it's I don't know. The eye test when you watch how they've played in the last few away games. I mean, they could be playing now from Boxing Day and not score against Man U. But they had 70% possession in that second half. And Man U played. They had 3 kids and the bloke who sells the programs playing in defence by the end, and we still couldn't get a shot.
Oh, I love that.
That's what I'm worried about. I think we'll play really well and have a good go. I think we'll have a good go away at PSG. Hopefully they've qualified and they put a few reserves in. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can't just dispatch these teams. I mean, the reason they're freak results on Saturday for Arsenal and Man City and Aston Villa is that you'd expect them just to blow those teams away every week, because
Gary,
19
just
times out of 20 they do blow them away.
Yeah.
Just to quickly say, Win and Chris are on at 9:30 the night, live from a secret location at the Gosforth Empire Club. So,
if you want a signature,
yeah. So keep watching after 9:30, lads. You get the Chris and Win after that.
Get the
what state wins in the day, but just watch for that. My advice.
Potentially some Guinness and lager involved.
Indeed.
I think that's the only guarantee.
But hey, it's a guarantee at least, which is more than we're getting Premier League football at the moment.
It is, but it's like I said. You listen to some of Howe's pressers, and you do try and get some inkling of what he's trying to tell you. And some of the key prompts for me, what I wrote down from the presser was, personnel. He was talking about Dan Burn coming back and Asula, and straight away it was a case of they won't be involved in the game tomorrow night, which is fair play. They've come back really long period off, especially Asula, 3 months away. You certainly don't want to risk him. Then you look at structure, and it's like a slow build-up, wide reliance, low risk, because everything, again, it's more of a do not lose. Is this because we have been so suicidal at times by going on the high press that the ball over the top of us and the opposition breaking, we've conceded so many goals so easily that Eddie Howe now is putting his team out there with a more defence-minded attitude? So he's structured, he's set up, so any ball out, there should be players to come onto the ball rather than turn 180 and face their own goal. Is that something that you think is there?
I don't think it's as much that personally. I think it's more just the fact of I think we've had so many phases of possession over the last few years which have really cost us, where we've given the ball away cheaply, been hit on the counter, and it's caused us missing out. That I think we're in one of those positions where every attack, the one thing that's going through Eddie Howe's mind is let's not make any stupid mistakes here. If we're still in the game, we can win it at any point. Let's not make any stupid mistakes early on. Keep ourselves in the game. We're not going to blow any teams away by doing that. But in his mind, I think he thinks we'll win a lot more than we lose by doing that. And I think it's an annoying one. It isn't good to watch. But you can see, like, Bruno is really the only one that, enjoys doing a little flick around the corner. Voltemada loved it when he first came in. First couple of games, maybe the last few months. Does it a lot less frequently. I don't think we press all that high anymore. I think it's one of those where a lot more selective when we do. When we do press, it's pretty decent. But I think it is one of those now where we just don't want to make mistakes in possession, go a goal behind, and then have to face a low block and not be able to break it down. So I think it's a lot on how, to be honest.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So for all of you, before we move on to tomorrow night's game, and we'll have a deep dive, I want to have like a season trajectory test, if I like. So if you look at the upcoming games, so we look at Champions League as well as domestic. So we've got PSV at home, Villa, Liverpool, PSG, all that. So by March, what must Newcastle look like, results aside, for this season to feel like progress for you guys? Boki, I'll start with you, mate.
I think the major thing we need to look like by March is, to be progressing in the Premier League, to move things up. Mourinho as our manager, to sort of have
No.
have sort of, a real good progression plan in place. And in all seriousness, though, I'll take Mourinho out of this. In regards to that, we need to be showing that we are progressing as a club. But every season on season, the way we're going, you've got to show that we're getting better and better and better. And I think so far this season, and I think a little bit of this is down to Eddie, that he hasn't progressed. He isn't showing that we're going somewhere different with things. And that's the big thing I want. I don't mind if we keep losing, if we lose because he's trying something different. What I mind is if we lose because we're doing the same thing.
Yeah, interesting. Tina, what's your thoughts? I've just seen something else I want to bring up before we move on, actually. But go on, Tina.
I mean, I think we are still showing progression, to be honest. I think the fact that we're trying to figure out a different way of playing kind of proves that, and it's not really working at the moment. But I think we are definitely seeing progression, and definitely over the past 5 years, we've progressed as a club overall. For this season, I would like us to obviously just finish in a European position. I'd be happy with that. I think if we can finish in a European qualifying position when we've been in the Champions League, that is absolute bona fide proof of progression. Because people bring up this £250 million that we've spent, and why are we not any better off than we were last season? Because last season we were playing less games, and that's what the investment this season has been, to try to cover us for the fact that we've got the Champions League. We need to become a team that's playing in the Champions League, but then not suffering in our league form because of it. And I think that's what I'm looking for, just a good positive position by the time we get to March.
Just quickly do this super chat, Gary. More likes last of the summer wine with curse on combo. To be fair, I think I would be combo. I think I'd be the tramp with the old cap on and ripped shirt. So yeah.
Never watched it. Never watched an episode.
You never watched an episode of Last of Summer Wine?
Never watched it.
Christ.
Crazy, isn't it?
I think
Last of the Summer Wine theme that you just did there, Borky.
Yeah, it was something like that.
I think Tina would be Nora Batty.
Wow.
Ouch! Never mind. Wow!
Harsh.
Ouch! Harsh indeed. Ian, what's your thoughts on what I've just said?
Sorry, Tina.
I think it's progression. I'll feel like we're progressing if we are still buzzing around fourth, fifth, sixth, and we're through into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I'll forgive getting knocked out at Villa in the FA Cup, but I feel like we're progressing if we can be sustaining a challenge for the Champions League through March, April, May. It should get easier if we get knocked out. The Coca-Cola will stop, Carabao will stop rather, and knocked out the FA Cup. There'll be fewer games. But I would like to see us. I'm just desperate for us to get through to knock Liverpool out in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. That we can stop the season if that happens. So yeah, no, I'd like us to win a game in a knockout, even if it's just a qualifier.
Yeah,
I do think we need to keep pushing on for if it's not Champions League, it's Europa League at worst, because I think we'd have a great chance of winning that next year and qualifying for the Champions League for next year.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like that sentiment, mate. I do. Michael.
Yeah, for me, progress. I'm not going to judge it against last season. I judge it more on 2 seasons ago. And I remember after 28 games, it took us that long to hit the 40-point mark. And I remember we were joking that we were safe from relegation. I think it's not going to take us that long at all to get there this season. But I think progression for me, this is going to be the first time in history that Newcastle United, in the Champions League, should I say, that Newcastle make it beyond the group stage if we do progress. That's a necessity. Whether it's through the top 8, the round of 16, I want to get through that playoff as well and show that we are a team that's going to be, competing in the future in Europe. As I say, you've got to qualify for Europe, I think, this season. You've got to be in the Champions League spots in the last 16, should I say, come March. And I think it's one of those where you're looking and going, if Newcastle narrowly miss out like we did 2 years ago, I don't think realistically we can say there's been that much progression. But 2 years ago is basically the bare minimum this year. And I do think there has been slight elements of progression in some areas of the game. But at the same time, Champions League performance and Premier League performance at the end of the day are all I'm going to judge us off. I don't care about the FA Cup. I'm not asked about the League Cup anymore. Just, do the stuff that's going to bring in the money this year and I'll be a happy man. And I can say that's progression.
Yeah, again, sentiment I love. If I'm honest though, mate, for me, by the way, Spurs are beating Dortmund 2-0. I've just seen on my screen.
Wow.
Which is crazy, isn't it? The way Dortmund have played. I mentioned right at the start of the show, 30-year, for me, anniversary for us being 12 points clear of the Premier League, when obviously we lost to Man United in the end. KK was managing. Obviously, we've heard that KK's having a bit of a problem at the moment, and for me, would be a great season for me for silverware this year. Now, just to say, well done. Here's your 30-year anniversary. What we could have done. I mean, we're not going to win the Premier League. I know that, but I would love to see some silverware this season, and it doesn't matter what it's in.
Gary, would you love it?
Love it. I would love it. Guys, I forgot all about this. Go.
Quickly do the super chat, mate, before we move on. Bokey, you can't say that about a lady, Jill Bokey. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. I've actually put myself in jail quite easily.
There you go, you see. There you go. Straight away, bang, you're in.
Gary taught us before the stream because I think he knew I was going to be in jail. So it worked out really well.
I told you, mate. It'll be the best 30 seconds you've ever had. And there you go. Proves it. I don't know about you guys or what you've seen over, I don't know whether you watch social media at all, but I saw a little snippet where a lad was being touted, if you like, behind the scenes. And again, on Jack Cunningham's show that he did for us earlier today, it was mentioned again in the chat. and that's Francesco Fariolo. Has obviously been highlighted as being the perfect replacement for Eddie Howe. Now, again, don't know where this rumour has come from, but again, it's out on social media. And as much as Eddie Howe admits that he doesn't watch or look at social media, I am 100% sure what is out there gets fed back via the players, because the players are all over social media these days. And when you look at Ferriola, I mean, he's a very, modern, progressive coach. If you look at his profile, and if Newcastle have gone Brighton style and projected their thoughts further down the line, and again, it did make me wonder why Eddie Howe said he didn't see himself being at the club when, maybe 4 weeks, never mind 4 years, I think was his statement. Because you can never predict the future as a coach. What's your thoughts on this rumor? Do you think there's any truth in it, or do you just think somebody out there on Twitterland has just thrown a name in the hat because this lad's got very good? And if you look at his profile, I think he would fit Newcastle very well. But like I said, it was just an interesting thing that it was also brought up on Jack's program, and I thought, you know what, I'd forgot about it until just. What was your thoughts on this? Tina, go on, I'll start with you.
I mean, I don't think there's any truth in it. I mean, we're seeing rumors all the time. That there was another one out. Like, for example, the one about, and I can't remember the player's name. It's like Rayani, I think it is.
Ryan.
That's the one who was shot down by Eddie. I think that's the same. I think social media is I'm glad that Eddie Howe doesn't read it, because that's where you see all of this. Oh, if Eddie Howe doesn't win these 2 games, he's going to be out, and then it's never true. I don't see any truth to this rumor, but
Right.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit undereducated about that manager. So,
I mean, if you look at Ferrioli, if you look at where he is, if he ticks all the boxes, because he is that type of player. He's the same family tree as like De Zerbi, Motta, Italiano, if you like, type of the modern day thinkers. I do like him. Young upward trajectory coaches, strong tactical identity, player development specialist, coaches who can work within long-term sporting structures. So he fits the model of what PIF are trying to achieve. Boki, what's your thoughts on the rumour? Any truth behind it, or just fantasy?
Do you know? I think we're going to do better as a manager. He's not proven it all. My thoughts on Eddie Howe is, if we're improving on Eddie Howe by bringing a new manager in, then great. Let's bring a new manager in. If we're not seeing something that's improving on him, or somebody who has, something that is different to what he offers, then it's pointless doing it. So don't sack Eddie Howe just to replace him. Basically, I'm not one of those guys who just wants anybody. If you're sacking him, replace him with somebody who's got a proven record and can move this squad on. So I don't think that guy can, but I think there are people out there that could.
Okay.
Can I change my answer? I've just Googled them. I'll take them.
I'll tell you something now. Talk about bloody flip-flops.
Tina might just move you back into jail anyway.
I'm going to say, you might end up in jail in a minute. Ian, what's your thoughts, mate?
I don't know a lot about Ferriola. He's at Porto, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, why is he any better than anybody else who has not tested himself anywhere other than their own second-class domestic league? Because that's all he's done so far, isn't it? I can see people calling for De Zerbi, where he's worked in 2 or 3 different countries. Not that I would. And I agree with what Boki said. Unless there's somebody who you can bring in who's clearly going to bring a little bit more or something a bit different, and there is an established sort of gold standard, if you like, that he's achieving, then what's the point shifting? I think the downsides outweigh the upsides. Bringing a nowhere man in, and I don't know who Farioli is. Don't know what he's done. He's probably very good in Portugal. But that's that's. I know Mourinho was, but that's where.
It's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? Different animal in the Premier League.
It's where Amarim came from.
Yeah. It's not worked out as well as they thought, is it? But I mean, again, you've only got to look at the Brighton model, how they are looking at, when managers go, coaches go, they've got a like for like manager to come in, and I think that's where he fits that sporting director's model. If you was to put all the good points of Eddie Howe on a piece of paper or a postage card, whichever one you want to. Some people will say he's got lots to offer. Some people say he's got nothing to offer these days. He's comfortable in front of the camera. He works well with sporting directors. And again, Eddie Howe has been criticised very heavily regarding the sporting director's role. He has a comfortable in collaboration environments, doesn't demand total control like older school managers. And again, that's something that Eddie Howe has been confronted with by a number. But where he really goes, it seems to me, where he develops really well, he's a young, charismatic type of coach. He's highly rated across Europe. He's been linked with a lot of already top clubs out there across Europe, across the big 5/6 leagues. And he's considered, and again, you have to question mark this, a 36-year-old, I've just been told. He's been considered as the next generation of elite coaches. So he's put himself up in that bracket.
Can I just pick up on a point here that's come through in the chat, that this channel's sunk to a new low. I can't believe you're discussing who's our next manager. Should be absolutely pathetic, totally disrespectful. To be fair, most of the people on this panel want Howe to be our manager.
I do.
We're discussing sort of what's going on in the press. So, although your opinion is well validated, and we'll love to have a discussion across, but most of the guys on this panel want Eddie Howe as our manager. So you just think about it. We'll discuss everything. If things are in the press and there's things that we have to cover, we'll do it. But it's not necessarily that that's what we think. It's just simply down to the fact that's what's being reported. So don't pick up on the fact that there's things coming out. We'll discuss everything.
Yeah, we discuss it because it's out there. And that's what I said. Is there any truth to it? That's what I asked. I didn't say I want him in. I said, is there any truth to it? Are we becoming the Brighton model? Are we looking down the line to look for the next manager? If there is a problem with Eddie Howe, that's all I'm asking. Michael, what's your thoughts, buddy?
On the contrary, I think I was slightly disrespectful to Fariola. Anyway,
Well, if you don't know him, mate, you can't.
Just a rumor.
Yeah, exactly. It is just a rumor.
But that just to be honest, that wasn't picking up the guy in the chat, Andy in the chat. You're more than welcome to your opinion, mate. But I think
none of us want him in.
Yeah, no, I think saying none of us won't win is completely different. You have to watch the show week in, week out to see that I fight that battle day on day. So.
Yeah. That's what I said.
I think Tina said Tina checked him on Google and then said she wanted him in, but I think that's just because he's quite a good-looking Mediterranean.
No, it's because he's a fellow Aries.
Oh, that's what it
fellow Aries.
Come on then, peeps. Who's your? What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I think it's one of those. Look, I can only go off what I've seen. Obviously, he's got a great record, but Porto they've only lost 2 games. One of those I watched was the game against Nottingham Forest, where they were pretty dreadful. Against the Sean Dyche side. I mean, everyone's had an off day against Dyche at some point. The other was apparently them being knocked out of the Portuguese Cup by Vitória. Again, it's not something you really like, but you look at him and they do emphasise the high press. You think if there is a short list of managers who PIF look at and go, right, they're not going to go, right, we want a high possession manager who's going to play like Pep Guardiola. No, that's too much of a transitional change that Newcastle aren't going to be able to do that straight away. The next manager needs to be someone that has a lot of the ideas that we've had over the last few years that are built in to this squad's philosophy, and to take them to the next level. Could he do that? I think he'd certainly be at the bottom of a short list. I think he'd be one that's been added very recently, let's be honest. His work at Ajax wouldn't have got him on there, or in Turkey or France. But I think he will be on the list. I think De Zerbi will definitely be on the list, as he's already been mentioned. He's worked with De Zerbi for years. Apparently, he was 20 years old as a goalkeeping coach under De Zerbi. So it's one of those where, they've got very similar philosophies. If you've got De Zerbi on there, I think you've got to look at this guy as well. I don't think it's true that, we're looking at him right now, but I'm sure there's a short list somewhere and he'll be on it.
Yeah, good answer. Right there, because we've got literally 19 minutes before the lads jump on board. So let's transition across to tomorrow night then. And this is the crew that seem to be doing absolutely superbly well in the Eredivisie. Their team is on the screen there. And like I say, if you look at the Eredivisie, they are 16 points clear at the moment. Played 19, won 17, drawed 1, lost 1. And like I say, they seem to be on fire. And I did watch the very narrow loss to Atletico Madrid, if I'm honest with you, and they performed excellent. And I also watched the 4-1 demolition of Liverpool. And again, a team that likes to draw you on and then counterpunch you with lots of runs in and behind. And they do hold the ball up very well. Like I said, it's an interesting setup because they play the 4-2-3-1, but again, they drop into very much a 5 at the back at times, a 5 in midfield. It's very difficult to get through them. Liverpool struggled, like I say, even though Atletico Madrid scored 3. PSV always look like they want to score. You know what I mean? It's like they are what I mean. Perisic down that right hand side again. He just seems as though he's just got youth on his side. He's like Mo Salah, if you like. When it comes to that type of presence, he's an out for them virtually all the time down that right hand side. Driouk on the left hand side again, pacey lad that likes to get in and behind. And again, they've got, for me, a very, very balanced side. Very strong in defence, very strong in midfield. And again, we'll just low block you. And we know how poor we have been against these guys. It's like I say, it's going to be a tough match at the SJP tomorrow. And I think,
Gary, can
like
I
Michael
just quickly
said,
do this super chat?
Come on, man.
Yeah, £5 super chat there from Peter. Thank you very much, mate. Good evening, panel. Eddie Howe may be a nice person and a great coach, but we don't have a plan B. 100%. 100%.
I think he's admitted that. He wants everybody to concentrate on plan A. So I'm going to ask you guys, we've got 15 minutes to go, who's the starting lineup tomorrow for Newcastle?
Tina?
What I'm
Who
playing?
starts in goal?
Me apparently no. I think it'll be Ramsdale in goal.
Okay, one for Rammers. Bokeh?
To be fair, after seeing the two of them, it has to be Pope for me. Pope's the better keeper.
I've only said Ramsdale because it's a cup game and that's kind of what Ramsdale was brought for.
Yeah, I understand your choice, but I think Pope's just the better keeper. When you've seen them, if shot stopping Pope, you can't really call the two of them out.
I think we go as strong as possible. That's what Howe said in his presser.
Are we allowed to do that?
Okay, that we wing them. Yeah, 2 goalies would help. No, I'd go Pope as well.
You want to go Pope as well? 2-1. Michael?
Yeah, I'm going Nick Pope as well. I'd like Ramsdale for the passing out the back, a little bit more authority on the ball, but we're going to have a lot of chances against her. I think Nick Pope for me.
Okay, then. So There you go. Pope is in goal. For me, like I said, I like the fact that Ramirez has got that passing ability because he becomes an extra defender at the back. It just allows your fullbacks to go and push on a little bit higher. We can't do that with Pope, but I think that's why you see us a little bit more restricted going forward. So, but I understand your process. It is a case of he's the shot stopper, and we may need him. So, you're back four then, gentlemen and lass. Go on then, Tina. Who are you
I
going to
think
go
the
with your
back
back
four
four?
picks itself really at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think Miley, Hall, Chow, and Botman are going to be the four at the back.
Yeah, I can't see Trippier doing 2 games in a week. Everybody agree?
Yeah, I agree.
From me.
I think that's why he stayed on for 90 minutes against Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea was always just to make sure Miley didn't pick up some sort of injury at the weekend and then rule him out of this game. I think it's a no-brainer. Which works for me.
I can't see, like I say, anything change from that because I do think, like you say, Trips was on for 90 minutes. He's never going to do 2 games in a week at his age now, not successfully anyway. Your midfield then,
Gary,
team.
can I just say on the back four, personally, if it wasn't an Eddie Howe choice, I would take Botman out for this game and play Alex Murphy, just down to the fact of sort of giving him a rest. And I think this is a game where you could do that. I think this is a game where you could give a young lad a chance. I know Eddie won't do it, and I'm not going to sit here and argue with anybody on the panel for the choice that we've made. But on a personal level, I would give Alex Murphy a chance.
No, I think maybe Wolves would have been the better game to.
I think the Wolves would have been a much better game for that. Yeah. This is key. This is a massive game.
It is, and you're absolutely right. If we're not seeing him against teams like Wolves, the chances of seeing him in the Champions League, where there's lots of money coming from this, if you can get through, I can't see it being changed or tested. If I'm honest with you, your midfield. This is going to be an interesting one. Who's your midfielders?
Tonali and Bruno.
Where are you putting them?
Tonali on the left pivot, Bruno on the right pivot.
Okay. And who's
this is probably going to get overruled eventually. So my other midfielder is going to be one of the two between Waltemara and Wissa. So I'm going 4-2-3-1.
Okay, so who are you going to put as your deep liar?
Waltemara.
You're going to put Walter Messi in, okay?
Walter Messi. Zvaj mi ta dribble got.
Anybody disagree?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit. A little bit, I think.
I think for me, as much as I'd love to see Voltemar and Wissa, I'd probably I'd be more inclined to go Tonali, Bruno, and Joe Linton again, just as that 3. Even maybe Ramsey ahead of playing both of them together, just because I don't think with Asula not being ready yet, we need something in the middle that can come off the bench.
So you think it's going to be one of these two? I think it's going to be 3 of these 4. So Michael's going for, out of the 2 then, Michael.
Joe Linton.
You're going to go Joe Linton, favouring Joe Linton. Okay. Go on then, Boki. What do you think?
It's a tough one for me because I kind of agree with everybody. It's one of those decisions that is a manager decision. Joe Linton's been playing great. I think he's, as I say, after match of the week, I called him out and then watched it back, and he had a bloody good game that game after I called him. So you've got to be careful. But for me, maybe a Ramsey is something just a little bit different, something that can add to. What we need to think is we've got that. We're going to play one player up front. We're going to play either Wissa or Waltemar up front. We need somebody there that's going to be there to help them. And I think Ramsey maybe is that type of player, whereas Joe Linton is more a solid midfielder who will put a shift in, but won't necessarily help the striker. So we need to start getting to a situation where we're we're getting towards the striker and actually giving them something to play towards.
I just don't think against Wolves, when you haven't, I could understand it because of Andre and Gomez. I mean, Andre and Gomez are quite tough in the Wolves midfield. I don't see that in the PSV. So do you need a battler? I didn't think you need a battler against Wolves, if I'm honest with you. I think you needed a ball carrier against Wolves, especially the second half when they were starting to get a little bit leggy. And again, J7,
I think Joe Linton's excellent coming on for the last 20 minutes if we've got a lead to defend, where you might need a battler. So I would do Tonali as the 6, Ramsey and Gamarish in front of them.
Okay, so J7 out. Are you the same, Boki?
Yeah, but for me that's a great lineup. But whether I don't think it's what he'll go with. He'll go with J7. But
would you
I
put
think
Ramsey
that is
left or right hand side?
left. I
left.
think at this point.
Joe Linton is one booking off a suspension, by the way. So if he plays tomorrow, he's not playing against PSG.
And who would you want him against? Yeah, exactly. So your top 3 then. This is another one. I think it'll be Wissa, if I'm honest with you, as Voltemada looked a little bit leggy. I do think he'll start with Wissa, but it's not my choice. It's yours. Who do you guys think will be up top and who's left and right?
Well, let's face it, Gordon's right left, isn't he? No matter what, I think Gordon's going to go left. Yeah. Barnes right.
Okay.
And then
in the middle.
I think probably Voltemada in the middle, just to...
Oh.
You're going to go Volt?
Yeah, just to give them a bit of a mix.
What do you
I thought against Wolves, me and Michael gave Wissa and Voltemada 4s and 4.5.
Exactly.
So
Spoiler.
It doesn't matter which idiot you put up there because we're relying on Gordon and Barnes to do something. Personally, I'd have Barnes on the left and I'd play Alanga and I'd keep Gordon.
I was going to say that, to be fair.
Lads and lasses, do you think this is a game where, you sort of put your... I've said this for a few weeks now, put your arm around Alanga and just say, you're going to play the next 3 games, you're a top player, lad. You've got this. Go for it. You're my choice. You're my player. And, if you play bad, you play good, you're in for the next 3 games, no matter what, just to try to give them a little bit of confidence.
PSV is a team, I think, that play... I can't remember who I watched today that was doing their tactics on it. But their fullbacks, their wingbacks push right up so that they've almost got 8 men in attack. What that means is behind them, there are acres of space for a ball to be knocked through for Alanga to run onto and run 10 yards clear of whoever's trying to chase him. I think it's a game for Alanga, certainly to start with.
Yeah, I just think the problem is Alanga, and again, if you've watched the game at home, they are a different attack mindset, very similar to Newcastle, if you like. At home, they do like to progress, but away from home, if you watch back the Liverpool game, they were the 18-yard box and waited for the mistake, waited for the opportunity to pinch the ball off you, and they broke with pace. And like I say, Perisic is a very, very easy play to highlight and say he knows what to do with the ball when he gets into the final third. Delivery into the box from them against Liverpool was spot on. And again,
am I being harsh though, Gary, in saying Perisic, even whatever it is, 5 or 6 years ago when he was at Tottenham, he wouldn't get in our team, would he?
No, but sometimes you look at individuals. No, exactly. I agree with you, mate. You do look at individuals as we do when we used to do, would he get into our side versus such and such? Well, there's always going to be a little bit of bias anyway, right? But when a team clicks, doesn't matter who's in there. Look at Bodo Glimt tonight, who beat Man City. They click, they play really well, and sometimes
this is a team with a habit of winning, isn't it?
Absolutely, and winning creates confidence. Confidence gets you goals, and I've often said sometimes if you can nail that team unity together, then there'll be umpteen elite managers across the globe. And that's the thing. We're all looking at Eddie Howe now because this is Eddie Howe's team. And the problem with Newcastle and the financial scrutiny that Newcastle are on, whoever Eddie Howe brings in, there ain't no wobble. It has to be right. And anything that you get that isn't a hit 100%, it shows massively. Where in the bigger teams, they can hide these players until they've had a little bit of time, to get used to the setup, because the depth of the squad is there. At Newcastle, they're in the shop window as soon as they've signed.
True. One thing which I am pleased with, though, which I think we did learn from Leeds and from Bournemouth, is that these guys, these players, do play for Eddie Howe still. It's not like I read earlier on that he might not have the whole of the dressing room, or the dressing room might be losing faith in his tactics. But I mean, they run through brick walls for him, don't they?
Yeah.
Ian, can I just pick you up quickly on that? Do you think it is that Eddie's got the dressing room, or do you think he's bought players that are so much Eddie Howe players that they're never going to go against him? So, there's nobody in there that's sort of saying...
Yes, man.
Yeah, exactly. Is he the sort of the guy? Is anybody in there that's going, hang on, guys, do we agree with this 100%?
World class international footballer. I doubt very much he's an Eddie Howe yes man.
Yeah, I've made a little bit of an adjustment to your team. I have gone with Ilanga, Wissa, and Barnes on that left-hand side, and I've moved Gilmares on the left-hand side and Ramsey. I thought Ramsey was very effective on the inside right position, a lot more. And the one thing I like about Bruno coming in, the same as Tonali, coming in off that left-hand inside left channel, is anything where the ball drops centrally, it naturally falls onto their strongest foot. And we noticed in the games, both when they are playing on the right-hand side, especially like Tonali, we know he's got a great shot on him, but his left foot ain't as good as his right. And even though he throws his laces through it, when the ball's coming to his left-hand side and he hasn't got the time to get it under control and take a shot, he has to hit it first time, the effect of it isn't going to be the same. So I would like to see either Bruno or Tonali on that inside left position, because I do think if you're going to get a shot from 25 yards, you're going to get one that falls to the right side of them in a central position rather than to the left. So that is it. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll go on to there. So again, the lads are literally just setting up in the background. They'll be with us. Oh, there they are. They're already
We're here,
on.
baby.
Hey!
We are here doing proper.
Good evening.
Nice sweater, Win.
Hello,
Look at that.
How's it going? Win,
Very good.
Wonderful pub that we're in, of course, here at the Gospel Empire, but they don't have Moretti, so I'm dealing with Cruz Campo at the minute. So it's not bad. It's
okay, mate. We're after the watershed.
Fosters, mate.
Yeah, we're after the watershed. You can promote beer. You're all right, mate.
There you go.
Empire Lager, finest.
Definitely don't promote that.
Definitely
don't promote that crap, man. Fuck. What? We got to stop cursing, ladies and gents. Actually,
You have.
We need to. We shall do that.
I must admit, my swear jar from you is going to be really high.
Exactly.
I need to stop.
Do you know what the worst thing is, Gary? The worst person to swear on the channel is the boss.
It
exactly. And I did tell him that this afternoon.
I definitely need to stop doing that.
He's Mr. Cusser under the breath.
Look,
yeah.
But some of the words I didn't grow up with, so they feel like they're just nice little words to say, like twat.
Listen,
there's nothing bad about that.
Chris, you're a proper wanker.
That's you phone of the show.
I've been called worse. Betsy kisses me harder than that, so I'm all right.
Can I just say, Chris, you have been called worse by better people. Ooh, pick that one up, Pokey.
There you go. There you go, ladies
All
and
kicking
gents.
off tonight.
Oh, come on.
Hey,
have a bitch. We've
been pre-gaming very well here, so don't worry. It's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a good night. Michael Grimsley, Ian Mackay, lovely stuff by the way. Player ratings, join in the Enter TV Plus club and watch those player ratings, man. Because I swear they don't just do the little numbers here and there to put the score. They actually talk and really good. Mighty Win here agreeing with everything Ian has to say, which I don't know if that's a compliment, Ian, but you know what I mean?
No, I'll have to think again, won't I? But wait, we've discovered, I don't know if you've seen, we've discovered that Michael and I are introducing a Curry-based rating scheme for the player ratings. The next one. Somebody scoring a 9.5 is going to be a called foul. Whereas I said that our performance against Wolverhampton was really no better than a vegetable corner.
Disgrace.
There you go.
Corner's a bit hot for Chris.
Love it.
Lovely. Boki will be staying on with us, of course. And the rest, thank you very much for the contributions from the early night show. And we'll be right at it up until about 10:40-ish, 10:45-ish or so before we get kicked out of the club. But we'll be talking about Eddie Howe's presser, of course. We got other news to talk about. Craig Hope's article out there about Anthony Gordon, the critics versus why people think that insiders, he says, insist he's one spark away from firing again, like he did that one season. That's the insiders are this guy. The only one thinks that he's gonna do that great.
They're all gonna come good.
Yeah,
they're all gonna come good. Don't worry about that.
And Gaz says, did you knit that sweater from when, Chris? No, not at all. By the way, this used to be white once upon a time, but all the smoke now is yellow. You know what I mean? But
cream was cream when I bought it. It's cream now.
There you go. Let's get started with the late night.
I still get into it despite it being 20 years old.
There you go. Let's get into the late night show, folks. Thank you very much, all of you out there. Appreciate you very much for your collaboration. Bye. Don't forget, tomorrow, join us, hours before kickoff with the live commentary, of course, from Gary and Michael. They're going to be doing a great thing there. So join us for that one. And we'll be live, of course, with the late night show now. See you later, folks. Take care.
See you later, lads. And just so you know, Michael's doing all the PSV names.
There you go. They've been going around. Those Dutch fans are invading the tune, I tell you. They're all over the place, singing and chanting. They're all over the place. So we shall do our part as well as fans tomorrow to bring in the love for the tune. Anyway,
enjoy it anyway, Chris.
Anybody in town for the match, we will be at Bally's before the match.
But we're continuing right now, folks. Don't go anywhere. 9:30 late night show starts now.
Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Mighty Win, and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
There we go, ladies and gents. We are live here on NUFC Talk, the late night show starting right now. We got news to talk. We got a lot of stuff going on right now as we speak. Mighty Win, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
He's been falling asleep. He's been knackered.
Oh, I've been knackered right enough. But I did get a good night's sleep last night.
Oh, yeah. I woke up at 12 p.m., so I'm pretty good right now. You have an issue that you were going off. I mean, I couldn't control him. When he was going off just now at Boki. So we had to ask Boki to stay on because he heard something about playing Alex Murphy and you lost your marbles. I mean, you lost it. So you were like, what's he talking about, man? Blah, blah, blah. So
potentially game of the season by a long way, and you're putting an untried, untested young left back in the game. Madness, suicide. You put all your meat on the grill tomorrow.
But when my point is that with Botman, you can't play Botman week in, week out for the next few weeks. As you've said, he's a Rolls Royce. He's a Rolls Royce, but he ends up in the garage.
Yeah,
so you've got to keep him out the garage.
That's my line, by the way. That's my
It is.
line.
And that's exactly why I'm using it.
Fortunately, the Morris Minor that you can rely on has just passed its MOT, so will be available very, very shortly. Mr. Dan Byrne. So we don't need to worry about the Rolls Royce anymore. But anyway,
Win. You do need to worry about players, and you do have to think about them. And we've seen it all season. We introduce players back too early. We're getting them back into the team, and they're getting injured again. So you've got to rest players.
If you actually look at the injuries by and large, for one thing, haven't been the injuries that they were originally out with. So we've went from an ankle injury to a hamstring, completely different.
Win, just quickly to pick you up on that. If you're out for a little while, then you're going to have injuries. You're going to pick up the little niggly ones, and that's what we've been getting, is little niggly injuries when players have been coming back. So it's not necessarily saying that we're reintroducing the old injury. It's a fact of saying that the human body just... Why am I in prison? It's a fact of saying that.
Why am I in prison?
Because you two have been talking nonsense. And
but the thing is,
somebody's got to the chat. Hold on. You two are talking.
I'm not sharing a cell.
You two are talking nonsense, and the chat needs to determine who to free. Because I don't know which one's right, to be honest. Because Alex Murphy, and I argued with him as he was shouting you out and cursing you out and basically just telling me to kick you out the channel. Because he's got a point. Because what's Alex Murphy doing there if he's never going to play? Now, he also has a point, the one with the cream shirt there from 1967, that is a PSV game. That's why I think we should have done this for Wolves. Not tomorrow, but he wasn't agreeing with that for Wolves. For Wolves, the worst team in the Premier League. So now you are saying this game is important. We can't play Murphy, blah, blah, blah. But now you have to start thinking about the resting players.
For Wolves, I said trips right back instead of Maley. Tomorrow, it's going to be Maley all day. Tomorrow, we need all meat on the grill. 3 points tomorrow actually almost guarantees we're top 8. If you look at the league now after the results today, 3 points tomorrow definitely guarantees we're going to finish at least in the knockout stages. So it's just too important a game.
When can I just pick up on this super chat?
Yeah,
will he be back in Winetta? Slap your chops, mate. Slap your chops.
Yeah, you got Waza.
Cheers, Waza, mate. You're amazing.
Whoa, Waza in the house.
Wait a minute, I got my phone on so I can see the chat.
But you can see the chat right there, by the way. We set up a screen just for dummies, so you can look at that. But so the chat needs to determine. But so is that Waza? That's not bailing you out, by the way. So we don't know what he just commenting. So Laura there, hi Chris,
when can we pick up on the prizes as well? Because Laura's just came. A lot of people received the wrong prize. What the hell happened, mate?
That's him knackered all night now. Because you got a speech right now for Laura that says Chris, Win, and Boki. Not that I'm not grateful, but just let you know I received the wrong prize. I was sent a J7 mug, not a gift set. This guy is in charge of all of that.
2 people received the other person's prize. That was Laura received Tina Tooney's and Tina Tooney received Laura's. And I blame
you, man,
the Royal Mail.
What?
For sticking the wrong stickers on the wrong parcels.
No, my God, man. Are you
because
kidding right now?
We also had a situation with Laura, I should tell you.
So that's it's her fault?
Laura Tooney.
So it's her fault?
I sent her the tracking information. And she, like me, saw that, yes, it was collected on whatever day it was. I can't remember the exact date now. But then the tracking just stopped. There was nothing for 3 days. She'll confirm that. I then got onto the post office and said, what the hell's happened with this? Royal Mail said to me,
Man, play the
right,
violins,
we've
man.
got it under control.
Play the
It'll
violin
be
music,
delivered
man.
by Thursday. What's happened with the address, I don't know. But I have I've said that if she isn't happy with the J7
the Titanic
mug,
sinking, man. The Titanic sinking.
and she wants the 125 gift pack,
Oh my God!
I'll just arrange to switch them.
Win. Can I just
everybody
say?
got their prizes.
Can I just say? Somebody who should have received a keyring got a lampshade. Somebody who should have received a lampshade received a lamp base and a keyring, and somebody who should have received a cup in 3 parts. You know,
whoever
you've got what you've got.
Who received the cup in 3 parts? That was Hell Cesar. The first time, one of the very first prizes were dished out. Hell Cesar got.
That's you.
And it arrived bust, and we got a refund on that. So,
I think
so you've been cooking it up,
Chris. I think we all know after Sunday.
No, then we sent the right one.
a brew up in a brewery. So you know,
oh my God, man, you are proper knackered at the moment. Just admit when you're wrong, man, because you messed it up. You're the one in charge of this.
What's the 2 rules in life?
Nah, yeah, okay.
First rule: win is always right.
Yeah, that's what.
Second rule: in the event of win being wrong, rule 1 applies.
That's what you say. That was me when I got the 125th gift instead of the J7 mug. Oh my God. Win, what are you doing, man? So now how are you going to tell Lim to give that up
it's one way around or the other. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
And as for the lampshade, it was Truls in Sweden who won that.
He's not even from Sweden. He's from Norway, man.
And he said, give it to because I wanted his address to send it to Norway, and he said, just give it to Tina because she'd won the keyring.
Man, that is
there you go. Well, whatever. The prizes all went out. Is all I know. If anybody's not happy with them, send them back, and we'll get them swapped round the right way.
Well, but listen, to
be fair to Tina, she received a lampshade instead of a keyring. So if she touches that key, she'll never lose her keys. So
a keyring as well as a lampshade. Tina got.
No, she didn't. She got
Lim Simpson said, I can't have a drink now. I got Nemo.
Well, if she hasn't received the keyring, then Royal Mail have up again.
Hold on. I can't have a drink now. I've got knee mugs, says Lynn. So and by the way, listen, man, Laura was expecting that 100 and something.
Have you never had a cup of coffee out of a keyring before?
There you go. So I don't know how we're gonna sort it. Laura, our apologies. I did receive the key ring, says Christina. So it's all over the place, man.
There you
go. I apologize, Christine. I apologize to everyone. We're gonna try to figure out one way of sorting this, but it is what it is at this point.
Chris, is an easy way of sorting this. Just don't leave Win in charge of doing it.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's right. I'll settle for that all day long, buddy.
Traboy in the group chat says Chris wins mailing like Eddie Howe's tactic board. Knackered, man. We got to do a little bit of a rundown of the show. Sad news, a tribute to David Young, who passed away today. Oh, I think either yesterday or today, whichever. He's passed away this time. Born in 1945. When were you born? When?
52.
We still got time. He's skinny though. Look at that. Knee fat right here. He told me knee fat. There you go.
Like a Lindy.
But David Young, do you remember him?
Yeah, well, he's more famous for playing for Sunderland. FA Cup winner with Sunderland in 73 when he left us. So.
Man, one way of we're supposed to talk about David Young, man, how good he was.
I think he played about, I don't know, 50. He was never a regular. 50 games on and off.
So basically, you're saying we should just skip over and not.
No, it's always sad when we lose an ex-pro, but no real. Special.
Nothing special. Yeah. Shout out to Jamie joining us now. Jamie as well. Thank you very much, mate, for joining us late. It was a late notice, to be fair. because we couldn't sort out the having people remotely while we were here on the studio, but we got it. It actually wasn't that difficult. It was just me being lazy, but
exactly.
It was done. It's done. Now Jamie joined us all the way. He is in Gosford, so he is being lazy, not showing up here to have a word. But either way,
hold on. I'm in Gosford, but my wife is in London for work, so I got 3 little kids that I'll be leaving.
Oh, there you see when all that rubbish you were talking about, Jamie. Before,
you got 3 little pigs. Are you the big bad wolf?
Yeah, some of them call me that. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Laura, for being a member for 4 months now. She says it's fine. I'm grateful for the mug. Lynn can keep the 125th gift set if she's happy with that. It was Royal Mail's fault. They printed the labels. Yeah, right.
I rest my case, Mueller.
There you go. So doing a little rundown here of the show. A tribute to David Young, of course. He passed away. Former Newcastle United director who passed away. So he was a director aside from being a player.
Who was?
David Young.
Of Newcastle?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
My knowledge.
He must have been, back in the age, in the ice age, we there's no mention of that. Super chat there from Ian Fleming. Bulky, you want to put it on the screen? It says, win, not to blame, Chris. The Royal Mail lost some stuff I was supposed to get, was not pleased with them at all. By the way, I went to Edinburgh, Ian Fleming. It was amazing. What a proper city, man. And that's why I'm Scottish forevermore. And we want.
I do want to just let you know a secret, Ian. He's now a Rangers fan.
Well, that is Scottish because I am a royalist. So you know what I mean. We can't. But we do want our independence. No doubt about that.
And by the way, Ian Fleming for 20.
No, but we wouldn't want our independence if we were royalists though. So that never mind. I'm contradicting myself there. Never mind. Either way, I'm Scottish, and I got my flute and everything. Yeah, I got my flutes and everything. I'll sing you a song. Nibala.
You do know Rangers play in Glasgow, don't you? Not Edinburgh.
Well, yeah, but we don't got no proper team in Edinburgh, man. You know what I mean? So it's.
I think Hodgson made up something to say about that.
We ain't got no proper team, man.
Chris, you need to learn Penny Arcade as a song. That's that's one of the songs for Rangers.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we need to learn that. But needless to say, Ian Fleming being a member for 23 months as well. That's how long we've been rocking the channel, mate. Ian Fleming jumped on for a while.
He was in there from nearly from day one. In fact, Ian Fleming was there before I was.
Yeah, and those were the days, man. Those were the days.
Those were the days without win, weren't they?
They were halcyon days.
I don't even know how we got Jamie on board, by the way, but people don't want to hear us talk about this, man. Either way, we're going to talk about ticket updates, of course. FA Cup trip to Aston Villa, ticket information and all that we're going to get to, of course. Premier League visit to Man City as well, the ticket release and all that information. We'll talk about that soon. We will be talking about the PSV game tomorrow. That's a massive one. My first ever Champions League game. I mean, that's insane. I did buy the scarf, the PSV, because just the first time. Although I go against.
Can you believe that?
I go against everybody freaking doing that because come on, man. But I did it because you know why I did it actually. I saw it at the Strawberry hanging, and I'm like, that's a proper one.
By the way, there's a load of PSV fans in town already, all over the place, having a great time.
Yes, they are. Go on, Jamie. You wanted to say something?
I'm just going to say, I'm shocked you went to the club shop and got your hand in your pocket. Even though I don't approve of half and half scarves myself.
I did, man. I did. No, I don't either. But
the pair of them, him and Betsy, they cannot walk past a shop of any description that sells crap.
What's why the Toon store is crap? Come on, man. What's the matter with you? I bet you'll be delighted to go to my new shop.
Get yourself in. I'm going to do a plug for a friend of mine here. Get yourself to Geordie Gifts in the Granger Market and tell him I said.
Well, here we go. Geordie Gifts and he spent 30 quid.
Is that your mate?
Yeah, if you'd have dropped my name, I need to give you a discount.
If you dropped his name, it would have cost you 40 instead of 30.
We certainly needed a plug because that was. But I like it. I think his niece was there because I asked her, "Do you speak like this?" You know, because there were obviously Geordie phrases, and she said, "No, it's my uncle's store, but it's my uncle's store." And there you go. So look at that. Yeah, go in. What is it called?
Geordie Gifts.
Geordie Gifts, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. I bought a lot of stuff to just hang it around the office. So there you go. Good stuff there at the Granger Market. Lovely place, man. Where do you guys get your meat from? The Granger Market?
Say again?
Well, I mean, not on a regular basis, but I always go in there for little bits and bobs, the Geordie bangers. It's more like I'm more going to the Granger.
Is that the meat shop? What is that? Well, we're going to skip that.
Geordie bangers and birthday cards.
We're going to skip
Chris,
over that.
Mine's from the Fat Butcher in Blythe, and I'm in contact with them to try to sort of give away a little bit of sponsorship. So,
by the way,
give them a little bit of shout out.
By the way, the Fat Butcher is one hell of a butcher.
It is.
Talk about value.
Shout out to the Fat Butcher in Blythe. We're going to be in Blythe Thursday, I think. Or was it Thursday or when?
It's down about Thursday.
We're going to be in Blythe Thursday. We're going to see, what's going on there, if it's a good place to move to.
Derek can't go to Blythe, man. The Platinum name's mud in there after they drove Spartans into the ground. Waiting for him with pitchforks.
His brother was the owners, and he hired Wayne as a director of football.
They do a steak for a pound. How the hell can you beat that?
Well, that's Chris. He's as tough as a 1 pound steak.
That's right. But listen, unfortunately, what's your brother name? What's your brother's name? Tony, owner of the Blythe Spartans, hired him as a director of football. And they just wouldn't bust, man. They were not good.
They were only knackered after he sold them.
All right, so let's get it.
After years and years of plowing.
Chris, that is an important point. Have you had a Savaloy dip yet?
No, he hasn't yet.
No. I did have haggis, and that was amazing. You guys had haggis?
Yeah.
That should be cursing.
Savaloy dip is on the to-do list.
And I was surprised to see it here selling haggis at where we would go to.
Wetherspoons for Burns Night special. Wetherspoons have got haggis.
I was surprised at haggis there, but because we barely found it in Scotland where we went, except for that one place. You know what I mean? But no,
get a decent brekkie in Scotland. If you get a decent fried Scottish breakfast, you get haggis with it. Along with square sausage and potato cake.
It was some food, I'm telling you, man. That was some proper food.
Square sausage.
Yeah. But, and I had some...
Edinburgh's a great city, but when it comes to Scotland, you cannot beat Glasgow.
Win!
Disagree entirely.
He told me, if you go to Glasgow, you're going to get mugged, you're going to get stabbed, you're going to get...
There is
and then he took you to the quarter.
There is nothing to do in Glasgow for a tourist. Nothing.
Do you know what? I went to Greenock for a wedding one day up in Glasgow, and what a fantastic day. But the guy, I ended up with this guy who I didn't really know, and he was going, "Come on, Boke," he says, "we'll go down to the pub." I was like, "All right, neighbour." So walked down to the pub, and he's going, "Do you want a chaser?" I was like, "Chaser? What's a chaser, mate?" And he's going, "A whiskey." Every bloody drink he got us with a pint. You got a whiskey with it. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to be knackered.
There's nothing the matter with the people at all. The people are fantastic. I lived there for 3 years. Absolutely fantastic. But there's just nothing to do for a tourist, man.
That's not what you said yesterday, man. You're like,
unless you can get buses out to the fashion museum, the butterfly farm and all that shit. But there's nothing of it.
We gotta stop cursing, man, because we got some unbelievable news. I don't think can we get into that? No.
Should we do that?
I think we need to get ourselves sorted first. But actually, there's nothing gonna stop it. But we got some massive news. You guys ain't got a clue. Win is about to be so rich, it ain't even funny, man. He'll have to do the shows from Chinatown. It's crazy, man. No, but look, we got some proper news. I'm just so like reluctant to say because I'm like, you know what I mean? It's I can't believe
you can't build it up this much and then
I just cannot believe it,
just
man. I
back
cannot
off.
believe it. But anyway, shout out to Boki and what was the fat man's what? The butcher in Blythe?
Fat butcher.
The
fat butcher.
Fat butcher in Blythe. You've
Where can
got
we
to
find them?
You find them online. They do a load of
Online,
things
the
online and sort of, you know,
fat.
they've got so much fantastic. You know, as I say, they do a deal every day. That seems to be that to put a meat on for £1,
Yeah.
which is bloody amazing.
Yeah,
There's
but where can we find them?
one-
Tell people where we can find them.
You find them online, mate. It's just type in Fat Butcher Blythe and you'll find them 100%.
All right, there you go. We got to talk about, of course, Eddie Howe's.
We got the Fat Butcher website.
Yeah. But
can I just do the super chat while
yeah, of course, please
Wynn's
go on.
doing this? Sorry, Jamie. Ricky the best. Sorry.
Old Ricky.
Does that make sense, Jamie?
Yes, old Ricky. Old Ricky is Edinburgh.
Christina Cage's best
That's
restaurant.
from back in the day when it was the smug capital of the British Isles.
All right. I've never heard it called that.
Christina
Ricky's
Cage's
smoky.
Christina says best restaurant in Newcastle was Vegano. And it sounds Italian. James Cuff says to be Vegano. Well, I mean, Newcastle depends where. Newcastle would be everything, I guess, if you, I don't know. Cuff says, to be fair, Wynn is right on that one. My best mate is a trauma surgeon, and he said the only place to be in the UK is Glasgow. Wait, what?
No, I'm saying it's a great place to live, but it's not a great place to be a tourist.
Where would you rather be, in Leverkusen or Glasgow?
Let's face it, Wynn would rather just be in the pub. It doesn't matter where the hell it is, as long as he's in a beer bar and he's got beer.
But actually, I really want to get into this news, but I got one question here. James Cuff says, you have to.
If you're asking me where I would rather live in Glasgow than live in Edinburgh.
What?
But
this dude contradicts himself so much.
Where I would take somebody, I would take them to Edinburgh. There's so much more to say.
We need to focus on this news. However, I want to give 2 minutes to this because there's a reason why Jamie and the lot have this issue with the Black Garter, and I personally don't see it as much as when you obviously rate that as the greatest pub in Newcastle. The Black Garter.
The Black Garter.
You rate it as the best pub in Newcastle. And Jamie absolutely.
I thought you were talking about the Black Watch then, the Scottish Regiment.
And Jamie absolutely just doesn't believe that. So what's going on, man? What's happening? I mean, I did see a few dodgy faces.
Yeah. People with some are teeth, some are brown, some are yellow, some are missing.
Wait, your pub, man. The guy I
walked in there. Said, "Hey, it's a really rustic pub. This, it's got sawdust on the floor." And the barman goes, "It was furniture last night, man."
Hey,
boom.
Hey, he said.
How often do you go in the Black Garter?
Well, do you know what? Do you know what he's doing? He's beating his own argument because he's right that Edinburgh would be a nicer place to go for a day's visiting as a tourist. But I'm just saying Glasgow would be a better place to go drinking. And he might like drinking in the Black Garter, but because you're visiting Newcastle, I would take you down the Quayside bars. I'd take you to the Crown Posada.
Crown Posada.
I'm going there tomorrow.
The Bridge Tavern. Going there tomorrow, yeah, because I've just said that, you copying bastard.
No, we're talking about that today.
Tim, up to Oosburn, to the Tyne Bar and the Clooney and all those brilliant bars, beautiful views of the Tyne, and instead you're in this like murky little bar with like old blue carpet on the walls and stuff, and
with easy access for everybody.
Can I just
to be fair, we walked out.
Before we do that, can I just cut across and thank
you, Michael.
For the membership.
Gramslow. I think that's Michael Gramslow there.
Absolutely amazing. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, man. Thank you for becoming a member, supporting the channel, of course. And everybody, please consider becoming a member now. Hit the join button below and enjoy exclusive content that we put out for you, just for members. So, I'm just saying, I want to know because Jamie is against it. You say they don't like it. He said they, you know, he didn't talk to you specifically, but he said they don't like it, including you, because it's a proper man's pub.
I didn't say it's a proper
You
man's
said
pub.
that. You said
I did not. I said
you said it's a man's pub.
I said,
did you not say
I
that?
said it's
Hey, be careful,
keep that
be careful.
fucking hand down. I said it's a working man's pub.
So basically, you're saying you're too good,
Chris,
Jamie. You're too good. You are posh. You didn't bother with the people that speak, you know, proper Geordie and work and all that stuff.
It's
So what
rough and ready.
Next time you come across Chris,
I'm
you need
into
to ask me and
social
Jamie where
chameleon.
to take you for a few pints. You know, we'll take you to decent bars with decent people who talk decently. Wayne will take you to the shitholes. Let's face it. You know, he'll
And
not take you to the nice place.
And he sit us next to the bathroom where we can
Yeah,
smell it.
apart from, I've got to
Jamie.
say, the Gosforth Empire Club was absolutely amazing.
That was amazing.
So,
That was good stuff.
yeah,
Jamie, last thoughts
you've
on
got to
this.
give them a shout
Jamie,
out.
defend yourself, Jamie.
I think, you know, like, I'm a social chameleon. Me, I'm happy in any pub. I just think I'd have a more, like, aesthetically pleasing, more, you know, Newcastle experience for visitors instead of just going and chasing the cheap pint. It's sometimes, you know, the price of stuff and the value of nothing. Botanist, that's exactly right. Lovely in there.
You get what you pay for.
The pints were cheap, to be fair, but I don't even look at prices no more when I'm here.
No, you not know the prices. Nick, you're asking him about that.
You better not be talking about that, because this dude takes me to some expensive restaurants. It makes me pay for fucking 20 people. Fuck, I keep cursing. Anyway,
Chris.
Wine bar for Jay, Mrs. Niall Powell. Shout out, Niall. Thank you, mate, for being on. If someone threw me a hat in the garden, I would leave. No comment over Rough and Ready. Botanist is a nice bar, higher class. There you go. I think I've heard of that one. Don't talk daft, Bogey. You're taken to the Macam land.
Harry's lovely.
No, botanist.
Botanist.
Yeah.
Oh, the botanist.
Botanist.
Someone said the Pig and Whistle, which was a right hole, but it's now Revolution de Cuba. That is a great bar. And as you know, I mean, you're of Latina heritage. I would take you to a place like that.
There you go. See, that's the host, man. They think about the specific.
So you come to Newcastle
to
revisit your heritage. I thought you were coming to Newcastle to see the real Newcastle.
So you're saying
options.
So you're saying Newcastle is just toothless, rough, homeless outside the pub, sleeping. That's the heritage. That's the culture of Newcastle.
I'm saying Newcastle is literally anything you want it to be. If you want to be,
George is a good bar.
Oh my! The Krampusada will be there, man.
Did you know that Grey Street won an award as the best street in
Grey
Britain?
Street?
I think
Grey Street looks proper.
Funnily enough, when we did the hop on, hop off day tour of Edinburgh yesterday, the guide that we're sitting next to, unfortunately for him, mentioned that Charlotte Street in Edinburgh was renowned as one of the most famous Georgian streets in Europe, obviously famous famous Georgian street in the whole of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
To which I explained to him, yes, that'll be after Grey Street in Newcastle.
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go.
That was voted,
enough of pubs. We got to talk about review the presser that came out today. Of course, Eddie Howe and Sven Botman speaking ahead of the media for the PSV Eindhoven match tomorrow at St. James's Park. Match that I'll be going to. Man, I cannot wait. My first ever Champions League. I will be listening. I would have never thought in my life I would be listening to the Champions League music live. That is insane. And by the way, let's be fair. I don't care if you're born here.
Il sole meglio
Don't spoil it, man.
Don't spoil it. Well, he ain't not spoiling. I know he doesn't sound like that. That's way off. But let's be honest. Not even if you're born here do you really have Now you may have your different expectations, but it ain't like we're used to it. You know what I mean? Like your Baron, James Baron, he ain't got a clue. And the last time you even heard that was Bobby Robson. Probably, yeah, more likely Bobby Robson era. Really. We did finish in Champions. Did we finish in Champions League with Pardew? We did 5th.
Nope.
What was
Europa
that?
League.
Oh, at the time was
Europa League then.
So there you go. So you know what I mean. That's going to be.
Sean in the chat saying, "Get Chris's star vest."
Chat.
Yeah, go on.
And go to the clock at 10 o'clock.
What the clock?
What's that? What's the guy?
Jesus
what's going around with
Christ.
the clock?
The clock's one of the 2 bars directly opposite not directly opposite, diagonally opposite the garter.
It's a proper one.
It's a proper one.
Chris, head home, mate. Head home.
By the way, it's the only pub. It's the only pub in Newcastle that celebrates St. George's Day. So we are there every St. George's Day.
Is that the clock?
Yeah.
Betsy would be safe, to be fair, Chris, but I don't know about you, mate.
No wonder he likes going there. Man.
Again, it's honest. It's totally fabricated.
Again, man.
When? I'm just saying, man. People are speaking. You're one dude. You're one bloke.
Yeah, no, that's because one guy says it.
But that's you saying it. One bloke.
And 10 believe it.
Yeah.
Well, you've been to the clock a few times and the garter a few times.
I've never been to the clock.
No, you've been to the garter a few times.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any problems at all? He's saying, why are people saying this is a bad pub?
Well, because I was expecting that, I don't know, a homeless guy sitting next to me begging me for money or something, but
well, that was.
there are some things.
Do you not want to set yourself a slightly higher bar?
Well, that could be as well. Maybe there's another. Maybe
as I said to Chris,
the black quarter is you didn't get your head kicked in.
Here's the thing, Jamie. I said to Chris, right, if I'm taking a bird on a first date, I don't bring her to the Black Garter. I go to Harry's or, somewhere on Grey Street. However, if she deems herself worthy of being a second date, the second date, it's the Black Garter, because then this is me, take it or leave it.
Man.
If Wynn gets a second date this time, you've got to think, what the hell's the person he's taking out looks like?
Well.
We know what he looks like.
Last time he had a second date, he took her to see George Formby, man. That's lost on Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get going in on this press conference here. Let's get some takes from Eddie Howe. And shout out to everybody that's been super chatting there. And Cool Betsy, I grew up in a working men's club, always found in particular depressing places. There's always a few guys still supping away because their wife left them years ago. There you go. Well, there's a few characters. There was a few characters in there, to be fair. I mean, I'm not going to lie. All right, Eddie Howe. So, of course, we're going to play tomorrow. That's going to be a great game. Eddie Howe on Burn and Osula's fitness. He has been quoted saying Dan's making really good progress, which means he's not going to play tomorrow, so it's not even an issue. The journey back he's pretty much stuck to the timelines we expected, but he won't make tomorrow. It's too early. Same with Will Osula. This was their first day with the team, but hopefully they're not too far away. I don't know what Osula's issue was, so I ain't got a clue what's going on with him. He's been gone like 3 months, and we haven't even. We don't. What's wrong with him? His ankle? That's been the issue.
Chris, can I just do this super chat quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Did you take Chris along to the Royal Mail, Derek? Win.
I think that we
did virtually the length of the Royal
And by the way, you didn't know. If you didn't know, now you know that War King was in Edinburgh
yesterday. He was at Holyrood Palace.
Yeah, he
yesterday.
said, "Can I meet the American Mag?" And all that. I said, "I'm busy, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not up for it right now." But there you go. You know what I mean? War King was there, so it was amazing, man. It's unbelievable. I mean, seeing the old castle and all that.
Do you know what the weird thing is, Chris? When you see things like that, when you see the flag flying at full height, and you think he's really there. It's like proper. You know, I'm like within probably half a mile of the king.
Yeah. No, I mean,
It's not as good as Newcastle.
What? Which we're supposed to go?
Yeah, dead right. By the way, from a tourist point of view, because apart from the fact that there was a load of stuff shut at Edinburgh yesterday, just generally, there's not as much to do as there is at Newcastle.
There's more to do at Newcastle?
Oh, God, I'll tell you what we did do, though. Newcastle, of course, famous for Hogwarts, Harry Potter, which I know nothing about at all. But
they filmed it there, and you can actually do a broomstick lesson at Newcastle.
You can do a broomstick, yeah. Have a game of Quidditch.
You jump on the broomstick and they take a photo as if you're flying. But it's clever, you know.
Yeah.
No, we need to go to Newcastle. I want to see Angel.
But we did do Victoria Street in Edinburgh, the multicoloured street, which
that was good.
Upon which Bendigo Street, is it in Harry Potter? What? Diagon Alley. Diagon Alley. That one there, Jim.
What? Diagonal? What are you on about?
Diagon Alley. As in diagonally. And there's a Harry Potter, gift store and museum thing on either side of that.
And they shot the damn cannon. I thought, boy.
That was another 20 minutes of my life I lost with them two in there.
They shot the damn cannon. I was almost started running.
You heard the 1 o'clock cannon at the castle.
In the castle, man. But it was great. Great stuff. Right?
And his underpants verify that.
No, it was lovely. No, the castle was unbelievable, man. That was great. No, Edinburgh is a proper city, man. Stop fighting. They ain't got a proper team, but we're gonna get that sorted.
Can I just do the super chat quickly from Warren? Yep. So the king and queen, Winetta.
The Queen Camille, the
we're in Edinburgh.
Are you trying to see how the Queen was?
The real king and queen were in Edinburgh. The king
Queen
Chris
consort was definitely there.
Win the Queen. So you know what
we couldn't get any confirmation.
She was. I saw the news, man. I'm here in Newcastle. I'm watching the BBC. Queen consort saying hi to the folks, to the plebs. Touching the players, and they're losing their mind, of course. You know what I mean?
Chris, can I just say as well with the chat, because it's becoming so fast now, we're struggling to keep up. So I will flash them up on the screen, but we're not going to be able to cover them all.
Yeah,
the only things we can do is sort of super chats because you guys are just becoming so brilliant today.
They're amazing. Thank you very much, all of you out there. Smash the like button. Steve says Edinburgh's crap. Can't wait.
Well, he thinks Eddie's crap, and also what is he now?
Eddie in Edinburgh. There you go. So let's get into football, mate. So that's Byrne in Osula's fitness update on Peter Bosch. Is that the PSV? They did something there. I'm not sure what he said, but either way, on aiming for top 8 on the Champions League, it's massive incentive because it means less games in a season that we've been stretched physically and mentally. The priority is to qualify however we do that. We're striving every game to maximize what we can deliver. The Marseille game still hurts us a bit because we were in a strong position in that game. We've got 2 games left. We have to commit to every game and try to win every game and see where it takes us. First of all, my question to all of you would be, not to go to the Wolves game again, but you didn't rest anybody there. Now it's a must-win game, really a must-win game. We have to get it in and win.
Where does the now come into that question? Now it's a must-win game.
But
it's always been a must-win
So
game.
exactly, my point was to rest some of the players against Wolves, get the game that...
So that wasn't a must-win game.
So why did he play the best players then?
Because
now there's knee rest.
I say put all your meat on the grill.
Yeah, but now there's no rest until Brentford, if you call that a rest. And then it starts all over again for 5-6 games. So
this is Brentford who are joint top of the...
So again, you just prove it. Are you arguing with me or you agreeing with me?
Joint top of the current form.
So you're agreeing with me then? Because now there's no
Because
rest.
we are so terrible that we've never been out of the top 6 current form for the last 12
Here
games.
we go, man.
Can I just do this super chat, lads?
Yeah, go on.
We should have gone to the zoo, taken. They'd have took the.
Take a win
they'd have
back.
looked at us
They
take
took-
win
they
back.
took win back.
100%, mate. You know, I mean, if
No
anybody would
refunds?
take win back, that would be perfect.
Well, yeah. But Jamie, you wanted to chime in on that one. I mean, you know, what are your thoughts now that we can't rest anybody? We got to play pretty much the same 11 as last time. As Wolves.
Well, I'll tell you what we didn't get.
think,
We didn't get Jamie's thoughts on what he would have done at Wolves.
I was sat next to you all day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know why. What are you on about? He was for the match.
Yeah,
reaction
that was for the match.
No, he was here for the match reaction.
Yeah, but what I hadn't heard what Jamie would have done himself as
in terms of rotation. Well, I mean, I mean, no rest till Brentford. I think the Beastie Boys had a big hit with that, didn't they, a few years back? But it's, I mean, we got that much that we can really do? I think everybody knows when he wasn't breaking Wolverhampton down, maybe get Ramsey on to run at them, maybe give him a start and break up that midfield, the standard midfield, the standard 3. In a big game, you want them. I think against a low block, you want someone who can run at them. So I would have made changes there. I guess on the wings, I don't think you want to be putting a Langer in at this point. And we all said on the day it would have been better if we could have went with 2 up front at some point and went for it. But I think it was a bit of a thing where he was waiting for them to tire them out. I said this after the game. So he could maybe catch him cold a little bit in the last half hour. But as the last half hour comes around, he's thinking, got PSV in 3 days. I've got to be thinking about that. And, and you just repeat it ad infinitum. So the changes, could there be more changes? Yes, but we've only got the luxury of about 2-3 changes before you're severely weakening that first 11 between the injuries and between the signings we haven't made or couldn't make. So could have done it better, yeah, but he couldn't have done what Pep does at Man City and put out a different 11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a big super chat there from RG Fox. Thank you, mate, for that lovely super chat there. He is saying, folks, if NUFC win tomorrow, that's a show that Eddie and the club are holding the players back slightly, or Champions League important, and surprisingly, we will come okay after the Champions League contest.
RG, thank you for the super chat, but I mean, if we qualify for the top 8 of the Champions League tomorrow, it means that it proves that Eddie's holding the players back.
The thing about that is, there's no rhythm to it that would suggest that either. Like, I went to Everton a couple of months ago, and they were superb. They smashed Everton out of sight, and a few days later, they went to Marseille in the Champions League, and they turned in that incompetent performance. Well, incompetent second half maybe. So, it's not like you would say they raise the game for every time a Champions League match comes around. I think they've kind of been playing the percentages. They've beaten the expected teams. They've lost to Barcelona, which is fair enough. And then there's been a couple of performances away from home that could have been better, like the Premier League.
But to be fair, I mean, if you take the Marseille game, the played okay in the Marseille. It was,
No, you can't say okay when you give up.
Man, come on, Nick Pope, man.
Yeah, but you can. So we're the unluckiest team in the world.
How can you legislate for that happening?
Listen,
you cannot.
You don't play him. How about that? You play the proper one.
Play Ramsdale.
How about that? That's quite a simple fix, don't you think?
Sure.
Because it's not because up to that point it wasn't the first time Pope had done that.
Right. Who do you play?
Pope had been looking dodgy for a long time before that happened. So
what are you talking about? He just come back.
What? What do you mean he's just come back? Pope got hurt afterwards, man.
Pope had been
That was the last game he played,
That was
wasn't
the
it?
last game he played because he got dropped
then-
because of it. So Ramsdale came in.
Yeah. So yeah, the
Well, he
point
was
is,
apparently injured, but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Ramsdale didn't prove no point when he was in the team because
No,
he
well,
just
that's
wasn't-
the point I'm making.
I would disagree with that. Because
Who would you
what
play
did
tomorrow?
Ramsdale do wrong? What mistakes did he make? Other than
Two
some people,
soft goals, two soft goals against Tottenham. Let one bobble over the line that cost us 2 points.
okay. Well, that's
We
problem
got
is
that free
neither
kick
the-
against Chelsea.
Free kick Chelsea.
I think the problem is neither of the keepers that we've got are upgrades on each other. They've both got the flaws and they've both got the positives, but neither of them are like an elite keeper. And that's what we need now. We need to go out there and look for somebody who's a good keeper, not only with distribution but with the sort of the shop saving as well. You know, it's a double-edged sword.
I think we were meant to be getting James Trafford to improve Pope's distribution, and I was sat there last Wednesday night, and he booted a couple straight into Rule's head, and I thought, well, hang on, are we back in for this kid? But I agree, you need to look at the goalie. You need to look at the goalie situation in the summer, but you would say that about a lot of positions. We need a bit of an overhaul. But let's just make do with what we've got because we've got no other choice for this season.
Yeah,
So on the current form, Eddie Howe said, I think since November, the international break, the Manchester City game, I've seen an upturn in performances generally. We've been much more consistent. In that break, we did a lot of work. Probably the only time we've been able to train in recent months. It's not been perfect. There has been the odd game where we haven't performed to the level we want, but generally much better, much more like ourselves, scoring goals again. The challenge for us is to maintain that. So he says much more like ourselves scoring goals again. When you the other day was talking about we can't finish our dinner. So which one is it?
he's talking about better performances.
No, but he said we're much better like ourselves scoring
I
goals again.
don't necessarily agree that we've had much better performances, but we have had much better results than those similar performances to them were giving us in the very early part of the season. So anybody who's in the forum will know that we're currently top of 4 games. We're top of the league. 6 games, we're 3rd in the league. 8 games, we're 4th in the league. We've never been in the last 12 games. Current form, we've never been out the top 6.
But Win, can I ask you a question on that seriously, mate?
And we were 14th before that.
No. I'm saying, can I ask you a question seriously on that?
What are you talking about?
I agree with what you're saying in regards to we have been on a good run of form, but is that down to the games that we've played? Do you see that carrying on with the games that we've got coming up in February? So from Liverpool onwards, do you think we're going to stay on that trajectory of going upwards? Or do you think it's going to be another crash course down?
With us, you can never tell, because we tend to play better against the better teams.
I'm not asking with us.
If you're asking me, do I think
from
we
you
can beat
personally,
Liverpool?
do you think we'll keep going on this trajectory when we play them big teams?
Right. Well, let's start off with Liverpool. If you think I think we can beat Liverpool, absolutely, I think we can beat Liverpool. Because
how many times we've beaten in the league in the last few years?
Yeah, and we haven't beaten them, and there have been reasons for that, as you well know.
Here we go. But the thing is, man, at some
But how many times have we been outplayed by Liverpool, and how many times have we outplayed them?
That's fine. But again, how many times does that actually happen?
But Win, in all seriousness, the question I've asked, how many games do you expect us to win in February?
Probably the same as we've won the probably, I don't know.
Well, that's an interesting.
Win 2, draw 1,
we can
lost
take a look
2,
at that.
something like that.
We can take a look at that. Lastly,
if I settle with those particular fixtures, would I settle for that? Absolutely, I would.
What were you?
I don't care where they come.
Can I just ask what you would settle for? Because you went and then I'll settle for that. So what would you settle for?
Yeah,
we're talking league games. How many games is there altogether? I haven't got anything in front of me at the minute, sorry.
We've got Liverpool away, Brentford at home, Tottenham away.
But why are you talking about away?
Man City away. That might be it. 3 away games.
Well, why are you on about away?
So 4 games.
That's not even.
Well, I expect to beat Tottenham and I expect to beat Brentford. So there's 2.
Did you expect to beat Wolves?
I think we
Did
could.
you expect to beat Wolves?
Yes, could easily get a draw against Liverpool. And history being what it is, we'll probably get beat against.
So what? Why? History
in the league, not in the cup. In the league,
history tells you the same thing about with Liverpool. Well, when have we beaten Liverpool?
Bodo Glimt have just beaten Man City 2-0, man.
So
at least we're winning 2-0 the last or so.
But if they're going to play two teams at once, chances are they are going to get beat, aren't they? Apparently, Bodo was crap, but Glimt was outstanding tonight.
Another quick question, Win. In this run of games where we've had easy games, let's all face it, they've been pretty easy games. Have you been impressed by the way the team have played?
No, I haven't been impressed at all. I'm not bothered. I'm bothered about results right now.
I'm not bothered, man. How are you going to get results if you don't play good, man?
The state of the squad and all of the ancillary complications that we've had this season, results is what matters.
Yeah, but you
get us to next season.
You're asking, it'll be the same thing as Jamie expecting his band. What was his name again?
Blake.
I forgot about it. I knew I had it. I know it was one of them American names. Blake. So he's expecting, it's be Jamie expecting Blake to get, what grades do you get here? Like A, you get letters, A, B, C's, or is it?
No, I don't know. No.
The top rate, well, you didn't even go to school. You were in the cave. You were a caveman. What are the top grades? What is the best grade your kid can get on an exam?
I would imagine.
On an exam.
Guys, can I just quickly do the super chat here before we go on to that?
Quickly.
You know, quickly. Jesus, gives a second because I've lost it.
I got it there.
That's the one. I know.
There you go.
Go on, Chris.
I know that's silly. That's silly. Get yourself something nice, pet. I suggest a nice cardigan if you're going to Blythe, Betsy. You'll fit right in with the yokels. So there
Betsy
you go.
would love a nice cardigan.
So what would be a top grade? What would be a top grade for your kid for an exam? An A?
It would. Let's just go with ABC, because the system's all over the place. He gets exceed or working the
You'll get a cardiac flash. You'll get a cardiac.
You can tell Blake not getting any A's.
No, he's not.
But it'd be the same as Jamie expecting Blake to get an A on an exam that he hasn't studied for, that he hasn't been bothered about all week. No. There hasn't been done any of that. How can you expect that? You can't expect that. No, it's not an old analogy. It's a perfect analogy. How can you expect to beat Wolves or PSV or whoever if the form is not there?
Well, for starters,
it can happen
because there have been working.
It can happen, but you can't put your money on that. Need chance, man.
Chris, can I just say, you watched that press conference back the day and it filled me with absolutely no confidence. The guy just didn't. He was given chances by the pressers. You know, we talked about Kevin Keegan's football. We talked about what he's doing, and he could have went out there and went, "Look, guys, I'm going to start going for it from now on. You know, I've realised this football, tippy tappy football, isn't working. We're going to go for it." He didn't do it. He was sort of so reluctant to sort of make any sort of attack and promises. There was just nothing there.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder why.
So Betsy's telling that we missed a question here from Margie Fox. Sorry about that, mate. Let's read it again. Then, folks, if NUFC win tomorrow, does it show that Eddie and the club are holding the players back slightly? We did talk about it. Or Champions League games in
sorry, Audrey. I've picked that up. What you're saying is, are they holding the players back? For example, against Wolves, in order to be in prime condition for the Champions League game, so that they're kind of sacrificing other competitions.
That's exactly my point.
And making UCL the priority.
That's exactly.
Well, if they're doing that, you can understand it, obviously, because that's where the money is.
What?
Something's got to give.
You always talk about money, man.
Because that's what the game's all about. Get used to it.
No. You're talking about money when it simply is for us to. Yeah, of course, it's always going to be about money. That's what it is. But that's not really. It talks about getting through the Champions League. We should have rested against Wolves. and not force these players to knacker themselves against Wolves, because they might have been holding themselves back. Who knows? I know.
So you can't have it both ways.
One in particular,
they're holding themselves back.
One in particular is
wait,
Gordon, for example. He likes to play Champions League more than anybody in any other tournament.
When you sat and watched that game the other day, do you think them players put 100% in? Every player on that pitch put 100% in? Oh, I think the guys
I can't even remember the last time I could look at a game.
But
no. Do you think every one of those players put 100% in each?
Well, we certainly.
I think it's always hard to judge.
We certainly didn't perform.
Eyesight doesn't tell you that.
They certainly didn't perform.
But by the way,
to throw it back, to flip it around for like RG Fox, and what I'd say is, if we're sitting there Sunday lunchtime before the game kicks off, and somebody says, "Would you take a draw here if it meant you beat PSV?" Or would you rather go for it here, and that means you don't beat PSV? That's 0-0, 1-0 to them. You'd probably rather win the Champions League game because that will get us a knockout. So I think I'm not saying that's right, what RG Fox says, that he's holding them back and saying that's a more important game. But if I had to have that choice between holding back a little against Wolverhampton and beating PSV, that's what I would choose as opposed to going
damn right.
Just a quick one from RG Fox. We did answer that. And thank you very much for your £10 super chat.
He may be behind as well. He may be behind, but he'll get to it. Cheers, RG. Thank you very much.
You were saying earlier, when you're stood there and they're lined up and the flags are out and the Champions League music's playing, you're not going to be sitting thinking, I would throw all of this on the fire for 2 more points at Molineux. You're not going to be thinking that.
Well, of course not. But then we got to sit here and we got to do some type of job, especially now that we're going to be in proper settings of analyzing football. So, you know what I mean? But
what do you mean by that, Chris? Have you got some news or something?
I do. I got some news.
Reserved for those who've stayed behind.
RG Fox, let me know if I'm missing something, folks, please. Well, he must be behind. I think RG Fox likes to watch from,
I think what RG Fox needs to understand, Chris, is it's damn hard to keep up with these chats nowadays.
No, but super chats.
So many people going through. It's a nightmare.
No, hold on.
I think what happened was his chat come up and went off on one about Edinburgh and the Black Carter and said
that's it. No, but super chats, the world stops when it comes to super chats because people are again sending their money.
100%.
We'll talk about that. So we did, of course. So I think.
So that's
there you go. Now he's saying right there, up to date. Yes, there you go. I think he was just behind. He catching up.
Yeah.
Oops. Right.
Oops.
Well, that wasn't supposed to happen, was it? I think what's happened is there you go.
Now we're back.
Quickly. I thought Win had gone out for Sergey and pulled the wire out.
And first of all, RG Fox, just I know this long. Yeah, you're damn right. But RG, it was because I also misinterpreted your comment. I didn't quite get the nuance of what you were saying, which we've since addressed, by the way.
RG Fox, this is the thing he says to the coppers every Friday night when some woman's reported him. I misinterpreted that lady's actions.
There you go, and then he ends up in jail. So
no means yes.
No means no. They say can't talk like that no more, man.
Jeez.
Why can we not talk like that anymore?
Because
can we got about 30 seconds in the edit.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna edit this out. By the way, on Sven Botman, he said it's been tough, a tough few months for him. Difficult injury problems and setbacks. He had to show real strength and character because he always wants to play and help the team. He's got great qualities, and I think we really, really missed him. It took a long time to adjust to being without him. To get him back is a massive lift, and I think we're seeing the early signs of him returning to his best levels. Hopefully that can stay the same for many years to come. So, Mighty Win, you don't agree with Eddie Howe because you don't see no signs, you don't see nothing from Sven Botman.
That's all right.
So,
Big
Can
Dan
I
will
just
be back
pick up
shortly.
on Queenie's point there? Hit them likes, vote. Hit them likes. Come on, guys.
Indeed.
Lynn and Queenie both putting that out there.
Good, thank you.
There you go. Hit them likes, folks. And yeah. I mean, it's I think this Sven Botman situation, jury's still out, but we're gonna obviously have to wait. He's gonna have to play regardless. There's no doubt about it.
Definitely gonna play
because you don't want Murphy, so that means we got nobody. And Byrne is clearly not ready.
No, well, Eddie said that.
Yeah, he did say that. Let's go with the chats there.
I think he's a good Botman.
Yeah, well, he's looking decent. But the thing is about whether he'll stay healthy because he never does. So
there is that.
You know what I mean? That's the situation. He never stayed healthy. Fancy changes before the cup final. We played the way we did versus Wolves, and after Howe said he didn't want Liverpool to see us, tomorrow we're gonna go for it, guys. So, what's the matter with Jamie?
I've just checked the results and saw that Paris Saint-Germain got beat off Sporting tonight.
That means they're gonna go for it. No, but either way, we gotta handle business tomorrow because PSG is.
We do.
It's gonna be unbelievable.
Well, that would have been. If they'd have won that, they'd have had 16 points. They'd have been second, and they'd have pretty much, depending on what happens tomorrow, they would have had their way through. It may even have been confirmed, as it is.
Oh, it would have been confirmed, I
the
think.
top 8 spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. Bad news there.
I
haven't mentioned I'm going to Paris.
You are?
Yeah.
There you go. Who are you going with?
Me, Hutch, Simon, and our mate Marty. So, I'll maybe send you a little vid from.
Yeah.
You keep saying that, but we don't know.
I expect nothing less.
You keep saying that, but we don't. Because now, ladies and gents, I mean, we can confirm, of course. But one of our big, we've been working for months, and I'm talking about months, to be able to. Everybody's been, probably questioning themselves about what's this NUFC Talk Radio that you listen to all the time, especially on the intros and et cetera. Well, we got the email today confirming from Ofcom that we are indeed accepted as a proper radio station to go live from now into infinity, or until we pay our fees next year. Because if we don't pay, we're not good. But we can now indeed. Now we're going to be talking with some of our partners in Newcastle to broadcast
DAB. Get it set in your car radio.
On DAB, you'll be listening to us now on DAB. On everybody in Newcastle upon Tyne. Well, it's actually in Newcastle Gateshead. It's about 500,000 people daily that can listen to us, possibly. And so that's what we've been waiting for a long time. I mean, we've been working nonstop, phone calls and just emails back and forth and all
conferences
that stuff. And
Zoom meetings.
It's been confirmed. That's why we're going to be NUFC Talk Radio as well. We're going to be listening to us, and we're going to have a proper programming network and all that stuff. So that's going to be something, man. I'm telling you, something. That's how we got Jamie hooked again, and we didn't.
Anybody old enough to remember the three legends? Watch this space.
Watch this space. We're gonna try, of course. We're gonna work hard to bring you the greatest content we can. But we're gonna be back. We're gonna be on Radio Man, the only radio station right now, and I'm pretty sure for a while, the only radio station solely dedicated to Newcastle United content. You know what I mean?
Chris, we've all got faces for radio, so
There you go.
You said it.
Except Jamie and the twins, but we'll put them on the advertising. You know what I mean? We'll put them on the advertising. We're gonna see. So now, if you're out there in Newcastle, if you know anybody that knows how to present, or anybody that presented before, anybody that's ever associated with any of this type of media journalists, you're a friend of a friend of a friend, whatever, video analysts, sound engineers, social media people.
You know anybody at college doing media studies?
Yeah, doing media studies, interims or whatever, potential sponsors, all of that. Bring them on board. Let's talk about it and let's discuss, because I think this
lads, can I just say as well, in all seriousness, well done to you and Chris. Chris and Win on doing this, because I know how much work you guys have put into trying to get to this point, and it's absolutely amazing that from a YouTube channel with a few viewers at the start to where we've got to now, you guys have got with here. Sort of.
No, you guys have got us to here.
No, well, no. Let me praise you guys up.
But everybody else out there.
Let me praise you guys up. You two have got to a point where people love watching. They understand what Chris is all about. They understand what Win's all about. They understand what us guys are all about. And it's amazing from a small channel to an absolute massive channel now that's going places, and we're all going to get the viewers and the listeners on the radio. That's where we'll go. So
and you'll be able to listen to it.
Kudos and well done to you two guys.
Cheers,
don't.
It takes.
You don't even have to love us, hate us if you want, as long as you listen.
100%.
And watch.
And of course, we got the phone line. We started with that, and it is working wonders. People would like to call in and have their say, so we're going to implement that. Of course, continue to do that. But it takes a big group to do this, a big effort, and big people putting their times and putting the shows out there. That's where the NUFC comparison, great stuff from Jamie, Hutch. Now, can you imagine? Could you have ever thought Hutch, Jamie, and Simon are going to be on radio? Knackered. You'd have never known that. But now, Jamie,
me, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Every show
now, and that's why But this only means that the grind and the work only gets a bit harder and a bit tougher, because we gotta get on it and we gotta go out there and give people something to listen to, Newcastle related, because that's just the way it works, man. That's just the way it works. So I'm really excited for it.
The voice of Newcastle,
the voice of the Toon Army, NUFC Talk Radio, and of course YouTube is gonna be. I think we're gonna have to create shows for the radio, put a few on YouTube, and see how it goes, of course. But we're going to have to take baby steps in all this. But I think it's just an immense thing that we got from Ofcom today. So great stuff. And at least my initial promise to the presenters, is fulfilled. That because they were like, yeah, we're going to get on radio. Yeah, right. But when is it going to happen?
£10 million.
Well, now it's happened. Thank you very much, Laura20, for the super sticker there. Appreciate that very much indeed. And
was that the promise that your father-in-law would take us all to Vegas for a fortnight?
Oh no, that wasn't that one. But people,
there's every chance
when I mentioned
there's every chance now. There's every chance. So we need, again, if you're listening, if you're watching, we need everybody on board. However you want to help. We need advertisers. We need media people, interns, whatever. If you're located in Newcastle or remotely, of course, as well, but we like to give a shout to the people in Newcastle, because this is really what it's all about. People from the Toon, so they get the priority of everything, because they're in Newcastle, they're in the mess, they're in the zone where we need to be, and all of that stuff. So massive shout out, and yeah, we just gotta keep on working. Keep on putting the graft in, man. So now Jamie's gonna be, we're gonna make some money off this, getting on the phone. There you go. So there you go, baby. There you go. We're gonna put Win.
What can I say? You got me pegged.
There you go, man. There you go. When you're gonna get the Asian girls, we're gonna sponsor them. Happy End and all that.
No, they are sponsoring.
No. But there you go.
Have you thought if you become a local celebrity, you're going to get papped coming out of one of them parlours?
Cake pop win. Cake pop win.
I tell you what, nobody make any money popping me because there's nobody to blackmail us to.
There you go. Let's not get into that. That's one thing we got to be now. We got to be a little more. So we got to settle down.
Sadly, that might.
Yeah, the banter is still going to be there, but we still need to slow down on some. I got to start by example, by the way, because I am a bit of a.
Chris, you're the worst bugger for it.
I know, and now we got a big. You know why I got worse in the last few weeks? Because I thought this ain't happening. So I'm just gonna go off.
I'll tell you all. The trick is you can say anything you want as long as you can tell the Ofcom guy that you meant something else. So you can say, yeah, I said he was coming out of a parlour. I just meant, I could have meant a gin parlour.
There you go. That's what Ian talked about.
Just always remember as well, you're talking about wins. So, whatever you see, you can sort of just go,
we'll just say
exactly.
We'll just say he was a caller. We don't know him. You'll never hear from him again. Anyways, folks, we got to go. But it's been a lovely show. And, expect more from us coming up next. Anyways, see you later, lads. See you, Jamie. See you, Boki. See you, everyone in the chat. Thank you for all the super chats. We got Tommy already kicking us out, so we got to go, man. We got to go. Great Tommy and
Lasses and Bens.
Wins got nothing to do with Godfather Empire. Trust me. You'll never see him here. The greatest beers. It's cheap as well. Come in here, have a pint, and enjoy your night. Godfather Empire in Gosford. See you later, folks.
The best.
Take care.